You guys scared of the ocean?
Well, yeah, of course I am. There's giant things in there that I don't know about.
Well, then you're gonna be terrified of this SCP.
What is it?
This is SCP-1128, the aquatic horror.
Nope.
No, Jack, come back! Jack, come back! It's gonna be okay!
I don't wanna.
This is one of the scariest SCPs that was ever created, so strap in, boys and girls. This is gonna be a wild ride.
It's gonna be okay, Jack, I promise.
Get your crap together, Jack! All right, run it from the beginning.
I'll run you from the beginning.
Something dark and impossibly huge moves beneath the surface of the water.
I'm already terrified.
I'm already
A woman in a
scared
kayak
too!
paddles across the surface of a lake, following
be okay,
behind
right?
a few other kayakers.
Oh, this is just
She
in the
starts to
lake.
fall behind.
It's not even in
Kayak
the
all the
ocean.
time.
Paddles
Jack.
faster to keep up. For some reason, she's growing noticeably more and more anxious as she paddles.
Why?
She keeps glancing down at the water,
She can feel
eyes
its aura.
wide, sweat beading on her forehead. We can't see what she sees, but something down there is terrifying her.
What is
She
it?
paddles faster, faster,
Yes.
and doesn't see the rock.
Don't
up
say
ahead.
yes. This is
She
creepy.
hits it, her kayak
no!
tipping over, dumping
no!
her into the water. She
What do you think the SCP is? Quickly, go, Jack.
It's gotta be like the bloop or something, right? It's gotta
Alex,
be a giant
go.
fish that's gonna eat
The
her
aquatic
boat.
horror.
Okay, that was awful. Okay. I think the SCP could be the entire ocean. All right, let's find
No,
out.
that
splashes
was actually
frantically,
that was the worst
trying to
one.
tip the kayak back over and climb to safety. But just as she's about to grab hold of the edge of the boat, something unseen yanks her down into the water.
No,
Oh,
GG's,
no,
literally how
no,
the movie
no.
Jaws
As
starts.
the other kayakers turn around to see where
Oh my
she
gosh.
went,
That's how every horror
they
movie
see
starts.
the capsized kayak and bright
always
red
starts with a
blood
kayak.
blooming across the water.
Oh
Maybe that's
The
just-
young
wait,
woman
maybe
sits
that was
back
just
in her
free punch.
chair, pushing her.
I will say, we've seen so many SCPs that are like on land and are like humans. We don't really know many SCPs that are in the water, but I'm sure that there's like hundreds, if not thousands, maybe millions of them because the ocean is huge.
The only one that we've really learned about is the Tides of War, and they were both extremely terrifying. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have thalassophobia after today's video.
Yes, so I'm saying the creatures, the SCPs that are in the water are probably even creepier and stranger and weirder than the ones that we know of on land.
They always are. As soon as Adam steps foot into the ocean, he gets weirder and creepier.
Well, Alex on land, so.
Pushing her
That's not where I
sunglasses
was
up
going
onto
with
her
that.
head to get a better look at the book she's leafing through. She takes a long, deep breath, relishing the smell of salt and seaweed, coconut-scented sunscreen, and sun-baked sand.
She's having a great
She stretches
day.
her legs, feeling the sand between her toes. Almost too warm to be comfortable, but not quite.
Aw.
Sounds
It's a
like
perfect
great
day at the beach.
I feel
Warm
like
but
something's about to go
breezy.
really wrong.
Bustling but not too crowded. It's the best way to kick off summer break after the exhausting grind
Let's
of exams.
go. Comment down
She
below if your
glances
summer
up from
break
her
started
book
yet.
and watches with an amused smile as her best friend trudges his way out into the water,
Oh, Jack,
wearing
that
his
kinda
He's
looks
gonna
like
die.
That guy looked like he hasn't slept in days.
Well,
wearing
yeah,
the
he's about to
unwieldy
sleep
water
forever.
shoes she always gently mocks him for. To
saying.
slosh with every step, so
Just
loud she
saying.
can almost hear them over the rush of the tide.
He's got her
But he
giggling
doesn't
now.
care about what he looks like. He only cares about what knowledge the sea has to offer.
Why?
He's an ecology major with plans to become a marine biologist and
He might know
uncover
something
the
about this
mysteries of the
SCP.
deep. So it's a given that he's taking the first opportunity to poke around in the water. As an English literature major herself, the young woman will stick to the dry, sunny beach chair, the book, and an ice-cold lemonade.
That could be the smartest
Even though the
decision
two
of
are
her life.
opposites in many ways, they've always gotten along, ever since they first met during freshman orientation. He teaches her about sharks. She teaches him about postmodernist
That's kinda how we
fiction.
met, Alex.
And they both broaden their
A
horizons.
little bit, yeah.
It works. Why question it too much? She got a bit lost in the reminiscence, watching her friend in his natural element.
She's
but
in
the heat
love.
is starting to get to her, and she could use a little refreshment.
Heat of
Metal
love.
ting.
She reaches for her drink, taking a sip, and glances back out at the water.
And he's gone. And it's gone.
No.
Where'd he go?
No.
He was right there.
So real, dude. This
All of a
happens to
sudden, she can't
anybody.
spot him anymore.
Where'd
She
he
can't
go?
call out his name.
He's just holding his
He's
breath
just-
underwater. He's just holding his
Yeah,
breath
he's just going
underwater,
for a
right?
dive. He's just going for a dive. That's all he's doing.
Right, Jack?
He's just going for a dive.
Right, Jack?
Jack, please tell us.
He's gonna be fine, guys. He's gonna be A-okay.
All right.
When she sees a hand break
confident
the
now.
surface of the
Okay,
water,
yeah, he's
followed
going.
by
Oh my gosh.
another hand,
He's just
both
waving
splashing
around.
He's dancing.
wildly.
He's dancing. He's just
The
dancing.
best friend emerges,
He's just dancing.
paddling,
All right, cool.
gasping for air.
No, no, no,
Her
no, no,
stomach
no, no.
drops with
He's
the sudden
playing hide and seek.
realization that something
Marco!
is terribly wrong. He
Marco
starts to scream,
Polo!
but the sound
His
is
name is not
swallowed
Marco.
when he's pulled back under the water once more. She
Oh,
calls
no.
out for help, signals the lifeguard,
be a shark.
but by
Okay.
the time help reaches him,
Oh, that's
her
a
friend
Giga Chad.
is gone.
No!
Not dead, not
Gosh,
a body
he got
floating
taken.
on the waves, just
That's two people
There.
already.
Oh, there's
two
the blood.
bodies.
There's the
the
blood.
only
There's
thing
the
left
blood.
of
It's the
him.
same. We
The
don't know
dark
if that's
gloom
blood
of
yet. That could
blood,
be like fruit punch or
visible
something.
even from the shore.
He just
All
said
at once, the picture-perfect day at the beach
don't know what he's talking
is
about.
cut short by tragedy, and the young woman falls to her knees in despair, barely even feeling a thing as the tide rushes in around her.
Oh.
In the days that
That's pretty
follow,
sad.
she can't fathom doing any of her.
Are you guys scared of like shark attacks when you go into the ocean? Like, is that something you're thinking
I
of?
wasn't before, but now I might be.
No, I'm scared. I always get scared during Shark Week.
You know what, Adam? That's my new guess for what this SCP is. I think it's a type of shark. It's a SCP shark.
Yeah, I mean, most SCPs are kind of pretty similar to things that already exist in the world, so it very well could be like a mutating shark or something.
Comment down below what you think it is. We're about to find out.
Any of her original summer vacation plans. The two of them were supposed to be enjoying the break together, but instead, he's gone, and she doesn't even have a body for the funeral. She can't stop replaying the moment over and over in her mind. One moment, he was absolutely fine, enjoying a swim and looking for different wildlife, and the next, he was drowning,
I think
screaming.
she's gonna
What
dedicate
could
her
have
whole
been
life to doing
responsible for a
research
sudden
now.
disappearance like that? At first, she assumed it must have been a shark attack, in spite of all her friends' efforts to persuade her that sharks were nothing to be afraid of. There's no such thing as shark-infested waters, he often repeated.
What?
We
Okay,
infested.
that is dumb.
They just
Her
live
friend is
there.
dumb.
Even so, she couldn't come up with a better explanation than a shark. But when she brought up the idea to the lifeguard on duty, he insisted that it couldn't have been a shark. There hadn't been any
Why?
spotted in the area, not
That's
during
even
the day
scarier.
and that close to shore. Besides, and he put this as delicately as he possibly could, if a shark had gotten a hold of her friend, there
Could be
would have
body.
been some pieces to find.
Yeah, because sharks don't even like the taste of humans, so usually they just kind of like take a chomp and then they let you go because they don't like you.
Yeah, humans don't even taste good at all, probably.
With no body, no answers, and no closure, she spends her days clearing out his room in the campus apartment they shared. Going through his things, sorting out what to send back to his family, what to donate, what to keep. It helps her feel close to him, even though he's gone.
She's gonna
And
find
if
a
she's
clue.
being completely honest with herself, part of her is still clinging
This
to the
is
hope
the saddest
that she might
SCP
find some
story.
sort of
I know.
explanation
I'm gonna start
here.
crying.
She boxes up the remainders of his books and is just about to leave for the day when she spots one that she missed.
Oh,
He doesn't look like any of his textbooks or
Secret
book.
the nonfiction he was so fond of
SCP
reading in
book.
his free time. It's an old, worn, leather-bound volume tucked under the bed like a secret.
It's gonna be called the
She
aquatic
sets the box down and reaches under the bed for the book.
Don't do it.
Its
Don't do
spine
it. It's a
is
cursed book.
unmarked, no title to be
I
found.
think it's a cursed
Her
book.
curiosity piqued now more than ever.
Anyone that
She
touches
cracks
it
it
drowns
open.
in the ocean.
The room fills with the scent of mildew and dust. The book smells as old as it looks. The title page has been ripped out,
Someone ripped
but
out,
as she
ripped out.
begins to peruse its contents, she sees descriptions of ancient sea monsters, of unfathomable
Oh
horror
god, it could be
of
any
the
one of them.
ocean.
That
It's
is
a book
nasty.
about aquatic
They need some
folklore.
moisturizer.
Why didn't he tell her he was reading this? They could have bonded over folktales, over him enjoying something fictional for
That's
once.
no-
But it
that's her
turns
folktale.
out it's not a folktale, and what he was reading about is probably real. Maybe we didn't even think about this. It could be similar to like the Red Bull SCP, where it just like it contains a bunch of crazy creatures that are the SCP. Monsters, creatures, things that look kind of like Adam, but even scarier.
Wait, so I was kind of right then if it's that, because I said the entire ocean.
It might just be the entire ocean is the SCP.
No. You guys are wrong because the first place took place in a lake. That one took place in an actual ocean.
Wait a
Or
second.
you're saying
What if we're thinking about this all wrong? What if the SCP is water itself?
that's
All
the dumbest thing
bodies
I've
of
heard.
water.
That's
Like
no,
what if
no,
what
no,
if
no.
in the
That's-
ocean? What if
no,
a lake?
Jack, no.
What if
no,
your
no.
bathtub? Imagine Adam, you're taking a bath and something sucks you in and you can never get out.
has that ever happened to you, Adam?
It could.
I will
It
not
could.
ask any more
I
questions.
think I don't know, guys. Maybe I am way off here, but let's find out.
She considers tossing the book in
That's
the
like a
box
Thursday
with the
night.
rest, but instead, she slips it into her bag, feeling closer to her lost friend than she has since some unknown force took him from her. That night, as she's preparing for bed in her own room, trying not to think about the uncanny silence of the newly vacant room across the hall, she cracks open the old book again.
Just keep your
She
eyes on your
thumbs
toes.
through the pages, skimming the accounts of Leviathans and Krakens, taking in
No,
the
those
intricate
are not real.
illustrations
Not
of
real.
sea-dwelling
They are,
beasts.
dude. We know that they're real.
She turns the
No,
page
they're not.
They're
and
real.
freezes, eyes locked on the illustration there.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Did she see
Something
it?
is
It's the blue.
different about this one, though she can't put it into words. Its face,
it literally is a
its
blue.
enormous, monstrous shape. It makes her feel cold, sweaty, and seasick.
Wait, No way.
No.
They would have seen
There's
that
no
thing.
way
It's
it's
giant.
the bloop. Yeah, it can't be the bloop. The bloop would not fit in the lake. The bloop would not fit in that shallow water. There's no way. There's no way. No. It's
Alec,
not.
maybe it could have been a baby bloop, but that would explain why there's no body, because the bloop sucks everything up. Like when I get a Chipotle ball, it literally, I leave no remains, and that's the same with the bloop.
I've had
don't
way
need
too
no
many
remains.
nightmares about the bloop. If this is a bloop SCP, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving.
I'm never
Her
going in
hands
the ocean,
tremble,
and I'm never taking a
scarcely
bath
able to
again.
maintain their grip on the book. None of the other creatures illustrated here have made her feel like this, like she's truly locking eyes with
No.
a deadly predator. She slams the book shut, and the feeling of dread ebbs away. It's just
See
a
his
book.
mouth that open.
It's just a drawing. It can't do anything to her. Besides, it isn't as if it's real. That night, she tosses and turns, her mind
gosh.
tormented by visions of deep, dark
should've
water
touched the
crushing
book. I
her
told
with
you
its
it was a
pressure,
curse.
of gasping for breath, and
This is why I
swimming for a
don't read.
surface she can't quite reach.
She's
All the
having
while,
nightmares.
she feels something swimming just below,
No,
rising
no,
up from
I
the
don't like
ocean
this.
floor. In her dream, she wants
It's
to
a
turn
poop.
and look, but she can't
Bloop's
bring
cousin.
herself to do it. She knows what she'll see, opening its mouth to swallow.
Oh my gosh.
When she wakes the next morning, her heart is still racing,
She's
and her
drawing a
sheets are
photo.
soaked with sweat. She takes a moment to remind
Ew.
herself that it was only a dream, that she's
She's
safe
kinda
and sound
nasty.
in her
That's a lot of
bedroom
sweat.
on dry land.
She might have just peed
She
herself.
peels herself out of bed and walks down the hall to the bathroom to take a shower. But when she turns the knob and water begins to gush from the shower
Uh-oh.
head, her stomach turns. The idea of getting into the shower starts her heart pounding again, adrenaline
Jack.
coursing
Jack
through
might
her
be onto
veins
something.
and begging her to flee. She turns the shower off.
Adam, is this why you don't shower? Have you been blooped?
Yes.
I don't believe Adam for a second.
I think he just enjoys smelling like garbage.
Yes.
Shower off, and the anxiety abates. No shower today then? That's fine. It's just a
But
bit
she's
of
all
the previous
sweaty.
Do you,
night's
girl?
dreams lingering. As the day
That's
goes
gross.
on, it'll pass, and she'll
That's called
feel
nature.
like herself
She's living
again.
in nature.
But all day, the feeling persists. She walks by the public pool and shudders at the sight of children playing in the water. She crosses the street to avoid a sprinkler spraying someone's lawn. She jumps over a puddle with the intensity of someone avoiding stepping on a landmine.
By the way, this is probably why her friend was so sleepy in the beginning. It's because
so?
he touched the book and then he got cursed by the book.
No, that's so dumb, Adam.
No, 'cause
He literally
remember,
went
he was
into the
always so
ocean.
tired.
Yeah, but he went into the ocean. If he was having the same thing, he would not have gone in the ocean.
Yeah, he would have. He would have because he was so tired.
You're dumb.
I don't know,
Never
guys. There
felt like
definitely
this
has to be something with the
before.
book,
Grief
right?
can take a lot of unusual shapes. Could this
Maybe
be another one of them?
There's gotta
She
be.
ducks into a nearby
That's what I'm
coffee
saying.
shop and settles at a table with her laptop. Her fingers hover over the keyboard, and she wills herself to look up coping
Google.
mechanisms for grief and unusual anxiety.
Google.
But her instincts kick
Google.
in, and she types something else entirely. Unexplained disappearances in water. She scrolls through stories about tragic drownings, cars sinking into swamps, and murder victims dumped in lakes.
Okay.
Then,
Cars sinking into swamps. That's not too unexpected, guys. That's what happens when a car goes into water.
I know, but also people can get taken away in the ocean too. It happens all the time, you know? So a lot of these things, it seems like it could very well happen in real life, but there's just something that's off about it. Something that's, I don't know, a little bit weird. Maybe it's just Adam. Maybe Adam should be an SCP.
Adam is an SCP.
art catches her eye.
Ew.
Local man vanished in
Ew.
swimming pool, families say.
It's gross.
She
Swimming
clicks
pool?
the
Wait.
link and finds a story that feels eerily familiar.
How do you get lost in a
Family
swimming
was
pool?
enjoying a day at the pool when one of the children pushed his father into the pool as a joke. He seemed
that's
to
a good
panic
prank.
upon entering the water,
Good
thrashing
prank.
violently before disappearing
Oh my gosh.
entirely.
But you can see to
But
the
water
bottom of
was
the pool.
clear.
How does he just
They couldn't
disappear?
see him anymore.
Yeah, he's gone.
Is that
Never
like
resurfaced.
murder?
He's
that
A
gone.
boy
wave
getting
of
put
nausea
for life?
washes over her as she realizes that this has happened before.
Wait a second. So it is any body of water this can happen in. It can happen, and we've seen it in a swimming pool, a lake, and the ocean.
Yeah, but you have to drink water. So, like, how can it be an SCP? Like, you can't avoid it. You have to drink it. You have to touch it.
Maybe it's one of
maybe-
like, I don't know. They've
Maybe
been
it has to be a minimum
submerged.
size of a swimming pool. Like it's, it
Yeah,
can't be-
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to put your whole body in it, maybe, or something like that. I don't know.
Well, what if it's not the case and you, like, one time you drink it and it just eats you from the inside out?
Good. Then I'll lose some weight.
Oh my gosh.
How many times? She continues her search, reading about similar disappearances in lakes, hot tubs, and even one man who vanished in a charity dunk tank.
Oh, that's pretty.
That
Several
is
of the
not that
reports
much
describe
water,
the
bro.
missing persons as
They're fully
developing an
submerged.
unusual
Remember that.
fear of water prior to their disappearances. Sometimes there is blood left behind. Sometimes there's no trace at all. But with every story, the result is the same. Someone is inexplicably pulled under the water and they are never seen again.
Wow.
Bloop. I'm
It seems like it also seems like though that they're in a lot of pain too. It's not just like they get sucked and then they're just gone. Like they're screaming for their life, you know?
Well, it could be because, like, you know, remember when she took a shower, or she tried to take a shower, she was terrified of the water. Like, I'm pretty sure she has, like, a fear of water. So even, like, getting close to water, I don't know. She probably is just going to be terrified regardless. So we don't even know if she's getting attacked. Maybe she's just scared of the water.
I feel like that's not what I said, but that's a great point, Jack. That's a really, I like that point.
But why?
Oh, you were saying that
She
she's getting
searches for
attacked,
a common
right?
thread between the stories.
You know, I was saying like, it seems like all the people who have been attacked, they're taking a lot of damage. Like they're like, ow!
No,
it
I know.
hurts so bad!
Well, my point is that they're not even getting attacked, maybe.
Maybe we just watch and find out. Gosh dang!
Maybe they're just scared of the water.
I don't care.
That's why they're screaming.
I just want to watch.
Okay. Yeah.
She searches for a common thread between the stories, something that could link them together. Is it possible it's all just random?
Water.
Then she spots something.
Thanks, Alex.
A throwaway line in the first article.
Water.
The missing man was a cryptid
crap.
enthusiast, particularly obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster and other aquatic creatures. Another was a writer, researching for a monster movie set on a fishing boat.
It's the book.
Another was
They
the president
all
of her
have
high
seen the
school folklore
monsters.
club.
It's the
It
book.
hits her like a bolt of lightning.
So they
Of
all
course,
find what they were looking for.
all these people were led to their horrible fates through the research they were doing. And when did she begin feeling this state of dread? When she'd looked into
She saw
that
the bloop.
terrible, nightmarish book she'd found at her friend's home. The same
Oh,
book
no.
that's now sitting in a drawer in her desk.
Oh
Her
my
thoughts
gosh.
race with
gotta
all the
burn it.
horrible possibilities. Could it be some form of psychosis she's dealing with? Or something even more
gosh.
terrifying?
Oh, gosh.
An honest-to-God curse of some kind. A supernatural
She's gonna
affliction
get
that
blooped
put
on.
her in the crosshairs of some terrible underwater beast. She grabs the book out of her desk,
touch the
wondering
book.
if maybe taking another look at the thing that started all this could dispel her
No!
fear. There had to be some kind of rational
She's gonna make
explanation,
it worse.
but she can't bring herself to turn the page. Just the thought of looking at that monster again makes her head feel light and causes her skin to break out in a cold sweat.
Ugh, she's gonna have
Suddenly,
acne now.
she feels parched.
I'm getting
If she
kinda
doesn't get
scared.
some cold water to drink, she
think I
might
have to
pass
bleed
out.
soon.
With no time to waste, she runs for her ensuite bathroom, grabbing a clean
she not
glass
be
from
able
one
to
of her
drink water?
cabinets and filling it
about
with
to bleed.
nice, cold water.
Oh my
But
gosh,
as
oh
she
my gosh,
lifts
oh my
the
gosh.
glass up to her mouth, she feels another injection of that impossible, icy dread.
Wow.
Don't
Is
drink
that
it.
something moving in the bottom of the glass?
Oh my gosh.
Almost
oh my gosh,
involuntarily,
oh my gosh, oh
her
my
grip
gosh, oh my gosh.
loosens, and the glass of water falls to
Just
the floor,
drink apple juice from
shattering.
now on.
She screams and
Yeah,
vaults
or
away,
OJ.
not startled by the flying pieces of
Or
shattered
milk.
glass, but genuinely terrified by the puddle that's now on the floor. She feels an inescapable sense that death is lurking in a small puddle rapidly sinking into her dorm room carpet. That moment clinches it. She needs to find some way to solve this, or she'll inevitably go down one of two paths. On the first path, she'd turn into a reclusive, paranoid wreck, forever fearing the dark fate that
already
may
is.
or may not come. On the second, she'd be just like her friend, a red smear on the surface of some unknown body of water.
Sad.
Her research rabbit hole becomes an all-consuming
She's gonna be
obsession.
obsessed with this
She
thing.
stops going to classes altogether, building a spider wall of newspaper
Oh, no,
clippings
this
and
can't
printed
be
off
healthy.
articles on her wall. There are so many disappearances and inexplicable events around water she believes may be related to this aquatic horror. It takes weeks of research to find something she can actually use.
I still think it's the
Another
book.
survivor, one just like her, who'd encountered the creature and used his smarts to
Finally,
survive.
somebody that'll understand.
After a few
it's
emails
the
and
person from
calls
the kayak.
proving that she wasn't just some
One of the
tourist
friends.
fascinated by madness, the other survivor agrees to meeting at his house in Nebraska, the only triple landlocked state in the U.S. She drives several hours to reach the home of the other survivor.
Oh my gosh.
When he meets her at the door, she's a little taken
Ooh, they
aback
do
by his
not look good
appearance.
right now.
He's a young man, but he's got the
think he
chapped,
took option
weathered
one.
skin of someone much older.
Oh gosh.
His hair is
He
burnt
has
and
not
stringy,
aged well.
his lips glistening with dead skin. He's clearly
Probably
cultivated a
hasn't
kind of
been showered in a while.
dryness that most humans would consider unhealthy. When she enters the survivor's home, she's immediately greeted by the hum of multiple dehumidifiers going off at once,
Oh, God.
giving the air a
Wow, this guy
stifling,
really hates
desert-like
water.
feel. Every inch of the floor is covered in newspapers, ready to soak up any moisture that might fall.
Oh my
Seeing all the
gosh.
procedures that the survivor needs to go through just to avoid the aquatic horror
does he even
fills her with a
survive?
different kind of horror.
That sounds awful.
Is she looking at her future right now? Is it worth surviving
much.
this thing if this squalor and paranoia is what survival looks like? The survivor explains his long and sordid tale. He'd once been a deep-sea fisherman when one fateful night changed his life forever.
I think it's gonna be the
While
blue.
they were
It's gonna
trawling
be
the
the
vast
blue.
and distant oceans, they'd picked up a man flailing
Oh,
in the
gosh.
water who told them an impossible story. Just moments ago, he'd been in his bathtub when something dragged him underneath. When the survivor and the rest of the crew asked him what had done this to him, he described a terrible and immense beast underneath the waves. And just the description was enough.
Wait, I'm not ever taking a
In the
bath
following
again.
weeks, one by one, the other members of the crew disappeared, all during circumstances dealing with water.
No way!
The survivor developed a crippling fear of all things water and has since moved to Nebraska to get further away
They
from
like
his fear.
teleport.
As far as he's aware, there's
To a
no
different
cure,
dimension
just a
from
way to
anywhere.
eke out your existence and minimize risk. But of course, even if your risk of
gosh.
encountering water is low, it's never zero,
It's
as
just
these two
water.
unfortunate people are about to find out. There's a thunder crack above the house,
No.
a genuine bolt from the blue.
No.
There's
as
always
huge,
water,
ominous
guys. The
storm
world
clouds roll
is
in.
90% water.
Then comes
the
the
worst
rain,
timing.
the worst rainfall that
You can't
Nebraska
avoid
has
water.
seen in decades.
Oh my gosh, there's gonna be a
Hammering
leak
down
into
on
the
the roof
house.
of the
Holy
survivor's
smokes.
house while he and the young woman wait inside. The roof would only hold it back
Alec,
for
you're
so
a
long.
genius.
And as another
my
great
gosh.
doctor once said, water
no.
always wins.
Oh god.
The young woman and the survivor begin to
Floor's
panic.
lava challenge. Floor's
Imagine
lava
freaking out
challenge.
over
The
water.
house has sprung a
Floor is
leak.
water challenge.
Water is dripping from the ceiling and slithering down the walls, disintegrating the
Look at you.
newsprint and forming deep, dark puddles on the floor.
You would think this guy would have dealt with this. He's been there for 10 years and this has never happened before. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
If he was really smart, he would have moved to a desert.
Exactly.
Duh.
Or like a bunker deep in the ground where nothing will ever get in ever.
That sounds awful.
The duo
would've
tries
gone-
to
Where are they
escape,
gonna go?
but the second they
There's no water
accidentally
in
step
space.
into a patch of wet, they're pulled down
Oh,
into
they
the
get
dark,
sucked. Oh, they get sucked
gasping,
instantly.
flapping, and struggling for
No.
breath.
No way.
They're not in Nebraska.
No! That's all
They're
it
floating in the
takes.
middle of a vast and impossible ocean with no land in sight. Below
How?
them, in the murky waters,
How does it do
something impossibly huge
Please don't be the blue.
moves. It's futile to escape.
Don't be the
In her
blue.
quest to understand what happened to her friend,
they're dead.
she's about to gain a better understanding than she ever would have wanted.
Here it
As the
comes.
beast
No,
rises
it's
from the
the
depths
It's real.
and closes its jaws around them both. SCP-1128 is an enormous aquatic predator that only manifests to those who are aware of what it looks like.
Oh.
Anyone given a full description of the entity's appearance, or who has seen an illustration or image of the entity, will become infected by it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Shy Guy. If you see a picture or like an image of Shy Guy, he will come and he will murder you.
Why did you show us this, Jack?
I had to, Adam. You know that.
We
And
were
you
fine
showed us
before
it.
this.
You're the one that pulled it up. What are you talking about? You pulled this up.
I did. I tried to place the blame.
Try to blame it on me.
Sorry, I'm sorry, guys.
Once infected, a person behaves relatively normally, aside from an increased aversion to any activity that requires being submerged in water, such as swimming. If an infected person is fully submerged in water, they will disappear beneath its
Why
surface.
was he not scared
It
to go
does
in the
not
water?
matter whether or not the water
Yeah,
is
that was
actually
dumb.
deep enough for
don't
someone
know.
to be pulled beneath the surface. In fact, during one experiment, a D-class was pulled into a glass of water by the entity, at which point he disappeared from sight.
Are you kidding
After the subject has
That's
disappeared,
insane.
one of two things tends to happen next. Either they reappear in a state of panic, trying to leave the water before the entity can grab hold of them again, or the water will begin to fill with blood and other organic matter belonging to the subject. Subjects
is
that
way worse
reappeared
than I
and
thought.
managed to escape the water before being attacked again have described the experience of being transported to the middle of a vast ocean, where SCP-1128 attempts to devour them. Though these interviews provide vital information on the nature of SCP-1128's methods of hunting, they must be conducted with extreme care, as they carry an inherent risk of SCP-1128 infection if the subject is a bit too
my
descriptive.
God.
So
on
how do
their
you get
account.
out of it?
Thankfully,
can't.
any
You can't.
accidental exposure to a description of
gotta kill that
SCP-1128 can be treated with the application
Ooh,
of
here we go.
amnestics.
Here we go.
Oh, they can
Any
make
written
them forget.
descriptions or images of SCP-1128's appearance, or videos of the entity breaching the surface of the water found outside of
showing
the
us this
Foundation's
photo. I wanna
custody
forget.
must be destroyed, and anyone exposed to this information or showing signs of contamination is to be given Class C amnestics. A written
That's what we
description of
need.
SCP-1128 is to be kept at an assigned Foundation site for experimental purposes, and experimental purposes only. It may not be read by anyone other than D-Class selected for testing with the
That
entity.
is so sad.
If any staff are exposed, they must immediately report for administration of Class C amnestics. Any and all water traffic that passes through the area thought to be SCP-1128's usual habitat is to be intercepted by Mobile Containment Force Kappa-12, Sea Devils. They are authorized to do so by any means necessary.
Okay.
So there is
It's
an
been
area where
said
this
that we
thing
know
lives,
more
but
about outer
See,
space,
how does he
the
teleport
vast,
people?
endless expanse of stars and
That doesn't make
planets
any sense,
than
that's
we
crazy.
do about the depths of our
We'll
oceans.
never know.
So I suppose the existence of an entity like SCP-1128 shouldn't come as too much of a surprise.
It does, it
amidst
really
giant
does.
squids and nitrogen-breathing microbes. Still, one of the most comforting things about the horrors of the deep has always been, in my opinion, the certainty that we are safe from them on land.
That is true.
SCP-1128 is proof
thought
that,
so.
as soothing as that notion
I
may
thought
be,
so.
it is entirely false.
Oh.
Danger doesn't
Yeah.
just lurk beneath the dark, rolling surface
It's
of the
literally
ocean.
in a flipping
It
cup
can
of
find
water.
you in a swimming pool,
Oh, no.
a bathtub,
Oh, no.
a single glass of water.
No, I hate
Ordinarily,
that.
I like to pursue as
I'm
much
never drinking
independent
water again.
research as I can into the topics that I cover, always in pursuit of more answers, of a broader understanding. In this particular case, however, I believe it's best to let sleeping aquatic horrors lie.
Okay, guys, so that SCP was absolutely terrifying, but it's nothing compared to this next one. Only keep watching if you guys want to have nightmares. Trust me, this is gonna get weird. Today, we're gonna be learning a little bit more about SCP-169, better known as the Leviathan. This is one of the scariest underwater SCPs ever created.
40 years ago, a U.S. Navy exploratory vessel landed on a chain of islands in the South Atlantic, just 2,000 miles off the coast of Argentina. In other words, the middle of nowhere. Yet on this far-off set of rocks afloat in the middle of the ocean, they discovered a
it's
vast
Adam.
array of strange wildlife
Alec.
and plant species that resemble little of what they left behind on the mainland. Could this be a treasure trove of undiscovered species, they wondered? Hoping
has
to
to be.
capitalize on the discovery, a
gonna be a
reconnaissance
baby
team of
Leviathan.
researchers was sent out to explore some of the islands on foot, and what they found did not disappoint.
Ooh, there we go.
From endangered species of birds to plant
looks like a
life and
peacock.
vegetation that looked like it belonged on Mars.
probably the origin of the
they
Leviathan.
found a dizzying array of new and exciting examples of evolutionary oddities that would fill a library.
Interesting.
Quick take. I think the birds will eventually go into the water and then adapt and then evolve into the Leviathan. That's just an early theory.
You think that the birds are eventually going to play into the SCP, the
That's a
Leviathan?
Dirt Boy theory.
Interesting.
If you want to join my team, comment down below right now.
But unfortunately, their
DDT,
jubilation
dumb
was
dirt boy
cut
theory.
short. Attempting to collect soil samples, they dug into the ground and soon discovered that what they were standing on wasn't actually ground at all. The Navy
Huh?
scientists soon discovered the rocky
it's one of them
terrain they
tortoises.
were exploring was actually made up entirely of organic matter. As per the standard
what?
protocol, the SCP
So
found
wait, that
Wait,
means
wait,
that
whoa!
Adam, you were kind of onto something there. I know that you were just kidding, but it's organic matter. So what they're on right now is a living being.
It's a living island. The
The
island's
Leviathan.
literally alive.
Yeah, it's like the giant sea turtle, which Adam was talking about from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So the
Wait,
entire
Adam.
thing could be a turtle, and that means my first theory about the bird becoming the Leviathan is becoming more factual. You guys all laughed. You guys all
wait.
laughed. Just you
It's
The
laughed.
definitely
Foundation
wrong.
was forced to
Watch.
silence the U.S. Navy research vessel after its discovery. With the okay from the U.S. government, the ship was torpedoed and sunk to the bottom of the ocean with all hands on
What?
deck in the name of protecting the greater good of the masses.
like some dude from
a
France.
tragedy at sea for the sake of preventing worldwide pandemonium. From there, the Foundation took over
it
with the
is.
containment procedures
it?
of what would eventually come to be known as SCP-169.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
gotta be
Better
it.
known by its nickname, the Leviathan.
Whoa.
The Leviathan
I've only seen
is
this
a
thing in
biblical
Minecraft.
creature of mythical proportions, said to be able to
my
boil
God.
the seas and create earth-ending floods with just a whip of its massive continent-spanning body. It is unclear if SCP-169 has the ability to do these things, though, given its massive size, which Foundation researchers estimate to be somewhere between 2,000 and
What?
8,000 kilometers.
Just to
Wait.
give,
It's
just
easy
to
to
give an
s-
estimate, like how big is one whale?
Like a blue whale?
How big
Like the
is
biggest
a
whale.
blue whale? So a
80
blue
feet.
whale.
In kilometers.
Yeah, in kilometers.
0.001 kilometers.
Let me see. Yeah, it's not very long at all. It's only 33 meters, which is like a fraction of a kilometer. So this thing is as big as like the United States of America.
No, it's not.
It's got to be
You
close.
shut your mouth. What? How does that even fit in the ocean?
I don't know, but the ocean is big and it's scary, and we've explored more of the ocean than we have of space.
And
How are they
8,000
able to do
kilometers.
it?
It's
Test
easy
on
to
it.
see how something that big moving at any speed could be devastating for the coastal regions of
How
the
does
world.
it not just eat the whole
Although
world?
we use the
I
word
know, it can one
contain,
bite in America.
It is impossible for SCP staff to ever contain something of such massive
So they just need to
size.
monitor it.
Surveillance and monitoring are about all we can do for now. That and
Jeez.
hope it never wakes up.
That's why I'm always
The
scared of
science
the
that
ocean.
we hear
Sleeping.
on the menu.
Oh.
It was thought to be
That's good
relatively
for us.
smooth
I haven't gone in the
sailing
ocean in 2
until
years.
one incident changed.
You're gonna have to keep it that way.
Dr. Hart turned off the video monitor and
It just
faced the
looks like a whole
assembled
island.
members of MTF Gamma 6, also known as the Deep Feeders, renowned for their specialization in the tracking of deep sea and oceanic anomalies. The room was dark, and each team member was sitting in shadow, but still Dr. Hart could see the seriousness on their faces. "I'm sure you're wondering why I called you here at such short notice,"
Crazy
he
scientist.
said. On the screen behind him, he put up a NASA satellite picture of a small set of rocky islands.
Okay.
I think that this is the Leviathan thing.
Do you think that maybe the smaller islands are like baby Leviathans?
No, I think it's just like his tail, like going up and down, in and out of the
You
ocean.
see, on the right side, it kind of curves to the left. I think he's just sleeping on a curve.
Yeah, he's sleeping on his side. That's how I sleep too. I sleep like a baby with my knees like up to my chest. I do that.
Yeah, it
That's
must
what he's
be
doing.
sleeping for a long, long time, considering that it has like dirt on its back and it has like mountains and like plants and stuff.
Yeah, there's a
living
whole
on it.
ecosystem living on
Yeah,
him.
that would take thousands of years.
If America just like got up and started walking away,
It'd be pretty cool though. I'd be like, wow, that's cool.
you would say, "Oh, that's cool." Not, "Oh my gosh, the world is not as it seems. I'm gonna die."
It
I'd
would be like an
probably do both.
earthquake 24/7.
Let me kiss the
Yeah.
first person I see. You know?
What if he farted, dude? That'd probably like eliminated a whole species.
That would literally be a nuclear fart.
"You see this little island chain here? Well, it wasn't there a week ago." He paused, rubbing his forehead from lack of sleep.
So it
At
moved.
8:05 a.m. today, we recorded another auditory anomaly emitting from SCP-169. This one was much louder
So
and
it
longer
farted.
than the one recorded in
maybe I
1997
was
by
right.
the National
Yeah.
Oceanic and Atmospheric
Every fart is an
Administration,
earthquake.
the one known as the bloop. Back
Wait, the
then, it
bloop?
was easy to brush off
I
as
wanna
some
see the
ice
bloop. I wanna
breaking
see the
off
bloop
of a
next to Leviathan.
continental shelf and scraping against the seafloor. It's not so easy to cover up anymore. These auditory emissions from SCP-169 are beginning to grow more frequent. More than that, increased seismic activity around the archipelago on the creature's back indicates that the rate at which the creature
we're
is
right.
breathing
We were
is
right.
also up. Typically,
an
the
island.
rate at which the creature takes what we are assuming to be a breath is once every 3 months.
Every
The
3
rate has
months?
increased to
Dude, did you guys just hear that?
That's it.
He takes a breath once every 3 months. That dude can hold his breath for a long time.
I think time moves slower when you're bigger.
Maybe, but it's kind of like blue whales. Like they could breathe and then go down for I think like hours and hours and hours at a time. But this is next level, months at a time, and it doesn't have to breathe.
That's
every
insane.
3 weeks.
But now it's
for as
once every
long as
3
we've been
weeks.
monitoring
The most I've ever
SCP,
held my breath
waking
for
up.
is 2
it's been
minutes.
adrift along the southern Atlantic.
That's pretty
never
good, Adam.
moving more than a kilometer a week. That behavior is slowly beginning to change. It doesn't sound like much, but something that big, even moving just a fraction of that faster, means 100-foot tidal waves for the entire South American coastline.
Sounds like some good
We
surfing
fear the
material.
creature showing signs of waking up. If this is true, it could mean a cataclysm for the hundreds of nations around the world.
That's a fact. That's a
Millions, hell,
fact.
even billions could be wiped off the face
One
of the earth
rollover
if this
and he's
thing
causing
just
a tidal
flips its
wave.
body too fast in the wrong direction. To put it to scale,
Adam
Whoa,
suffers with
there
that
it is.
same problem.
There it is.
Are you kidding me?
Not now, Alex. It's a serious issue.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna talk about how when you cannonball in swimming pools, it kind of ruins the fun for everyone. That's all right. I'm sorry.
Not a
Let's
good
continue.
time. Not a good time.
I don't like
this
how many
monster is
legs
about the
this guy
size
has.
of the caribou.
It is like tentacly, and I don't like that either.
The doctor then
whole
pulled
thing
out a
is just weird.
decanter of whiskey and poured himself a glass, swallowing the entire pour in one go. In an appalling breach of workplace professionalism. Seriously, an XK class end-of-the-world scenario is still no excuse for drinking on the job. We're
Yeah,
talking
like-
about an extinction-level event. A bona fide XK class end-of-the-world
What do you
scenario.
even do to stop him, though? He's
1,000
too
foot
big.
tsunami wave stretching
You
as
maybe
far as the eye
feed
can
him?
see
You're
from
gonna
either
drop
end of
him
the
on that
horizon.
island.
The last time
Oh, that'll
SCP
make him mad.
69 stirred, it created the Mediterranean. In fact, the legends of the biblical flood, Noah's Ark, the same story can be found in every civilization and culture around the world. So maybe they were onto something. It
So
is-
not only is this thing gargantuan in size, it is like super old too. It's like thousands of years old.
Oh, it's gotta be, yeah.
It might be millions.
Goodness, it could. Maybe it stems from like the dinosaurs. Maybe one of the dinosaurs got into like some nuclear material and then it got really big.
Think about it like this, Jack. Every time you breathe, that's like 1 second, right?
Yeah.
And this thing breathes once every 3 months. So to them, 3 months is 1 second to you.
So technically it's like 300 times bigger than even me.
Yes.
Maybe even more.
Exactly.
It is to this end I call you all here. To save the world from the next great flood.
That's a lot of water.
He paused for a moment, as the room took in the gravity
There's the next
of the
big
situation.
flood. Next time he has to get a
The
bag.
more
guy
we
has
can
a
learn
stomach that
about
looks like Jupiter.
SCP-169, the better. And right now, we know squat. For one, we've never seen just how deep the body of the creature goes, or what's under it. The pressure has been too great for our current model submarines, until now. After reinforcing our
There we go, let's go.
Nemo-1 deep-sea submersible with
Nice.
thaumaturgical
Human.
runes, the integrity of its hull has increased exponentially. Your mission will be to travel as far down and as close to the creature as possible.
So obviously, you know, this guy doesn't seem like he's really done that much damage in a long, long time. But if we had to kill it, how would you guys do it?
Probably drown it.
Yeah, when it come, you'd wait 3 months, and then when it came up, you dunk it.
Yeah.
Back down you go.
Yep.
See you in 3 months, bud.
I'm thinking, I mean, I don't really know how it breathes, if it has like a blowhole or something, but wherever the opening is, you send a little submarine in there with like some nukes, and then you blow it up from the inside out.
Or you just duct tape it. Like duct tape the blowhole.
What would happen to the
Duct tape
submarines?
fixes a lot of things.
Pilots, Jack.
They would have to sacrifice themselves.
Are you nominating yourself right now?
If it breathes, then there
Adam
must
would
be
just cannonball
gills or
in there.
lungs. There must be some basic biological facts we need to understand if we're going to survive extinction. Our only recourse is to find a way to sedate the creature, and if that doesn't work, then God help us all.
That guy's stomach looks
Just
like a
12
giant
hours
chocolate chip
later,
cookie.
deep in the
It looks like
waters
the
of the
moon.
southern Atlantic,
Looks like
a
Jupiter.
massive submersible ship was diving down into the depths of the deep ocean, looking for
here
a
we
way
go.
to stop the
We're
end
gonna
of the
finally
world.
see the full
Agent
thing.
Just
They better not actually wake it up.
A member of Deep Feeders, looked out of the massive viewing port as the ship slowly descended alongside the rocky trench that made up the body of SCP-169.
scary.
Behind him was Dr. Hart, sporting a
Dude,
Weapon
he
of
weapon
the nose.
gets scarier and
the red
scarier.
nose
Rudolph.
from a night of drinking to
becoming
calm
Leviathan.
his nerves. The entire crew were silent in awe as the giant floodlights of the ship brushed over the barnacle-covered surfaces of the undersea mountain. They progressed slowly, reaching each milestone in depth with caution, knowing that one wrong move could destabilize the pressure in their ship. Just 6-1 murmured the word, "Scales." "What?" asked Dr. Hart. "I've been watching the patterns of the ridges as we sink down. They look like scales. Giant segments. It's hard to see at first because they're so covered in barnacles and sediment.
I don't
but I'm
know.
sure
There's actual scales.
giant armored scales. The way monsters or crabs
oh.
have armored exoskeletons. Interesting, the doctor said, scratching his chin.
So they gotta find a way to get
Arthropods
through
have
the scales.
What
segmented
happened to his
armored
chin?
bodies. This
I don't-
means
this
we
guy's
might be
going through
looking at
something.
some sort of evolutionary height.
Yeah, the end of the
Some
world.
sort of aquatic
Yeah, that's
mammal,
true.
such as a whale or dolphin. But one that has developed armored segmented scales similar to that of a crustacean.
I wonder if he
The
started
doctor
off
crossed his
small and
arms
just
to
kept
think.
growing.
The closest thing we have on the fossil record of this magnitude is an armored fish from the Cretaceous period. But
Oh,
even
that's a
way too
Pokemon.
small to compare to this.
Coelacanth.
This thing has an entire ecosystem on its back.
How old is it?
Asked the agent. Well, now that you mention it, given the impossible age of the creature, an arthropod would make sense. Lobsters and other crustaceans don't age conventionally, you see. They are effectively immortal. In fact, they actually die
that a
because
fake-
they
what?
continue to grow until their bodies can't hold
Oh my
up their
gosh.
humongous size anymore.
Wait, how old is the oldest crab?
SCP-169.
I
didn't know
that.
Jack, look that up.
The doctor
How
trailed
old
off,
is
thinking to
oldest
himself.
crab? Oldest crab is 100 million years old.
No, it's
No
not. No,
way.
it's not.
No way. No.
Alive today.
Nah, it's a fossil. Hold on.
Oh,
hold on.
my
Let me
gosh,
see.
bro! I was about to say I need to meet Mufasa.
Okay, my top search result is scientists accidentally kill world's oldest animal at age 507.
507 years old.
Yeah, that's old. That's old. But it's not like.
It was an ocean quahog. Hold on, I'm going on a tangent. It was a clam.
Clams are the same thing as a crab.
Still lost in thought,
crazy.
turned to walk to the back of the
500 years.
submersible as Jaz 6-1 followed. He said as much to himself as to the agent, "The creature is old. The geological survey conducted when SCP-169 was first discovered carbon dated the specimen to over 541 million years old.
Okay, that's that's a tiny bit older than the
That's
clam.
too old
Just-
for any
just a
living
touch.
being. The results had to be incorrect, and yet I checked them myself more than once. And numbers
The Leviathan
do not
might be the
lie.
cause of the
entity
Pangea.
predates our civilization. Hell, it predates complex life forms on this planet as we know it. From an evolutionary standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. The agent, confused, asked,
That was a T-Rex.
"Doctor, how could something so big even come into existence?"
Exactly.
Very
How did
little
it
of
get
our
this
planet
big?
is actually landmass.
Yeah.
It's a wonder we call it Earth. Most of this planet
Ready
is
for this?
water.
Ready for this conspiracy?
Yeah.
Every single island on Earth is a different one of these. And this is actually like the smallest one.
Oh my goodness. So you're saying like Africa is just a giant Leviathan creature that we can't even tell. To us, it just looks like a bunch of land like just formed together, but it's really just Leviathans waiting to wake up.
Crazy.
And then they'll get up, and then everybody will fall off.
Exactly.
If that's real, I would be so shocked. No, if I was in my
We aren't
90s,
looking
then I'd
at a
get
creature
smashed by that
that's
thing.
on our planet, Agent. We are on its planet.
Is that
Just
it right
then a
there?
flurry of alarms
Yeah,
and
that's it.
sensors
That's his
began to
face.
go off at the bridge
Yeah.
of the ship. The team scrambled to their stations, checking off monitors and shouting readings to each other. The ship's thermal sensors are detecting a massive rise in temperature, transmitting power to cooling systems. We have activity northwest of our location. Sonar has something big headed our way. We need to dive now. The ship lurched forward, nose
guy's
first,
all
as
business.
everyone on board held onto their seats, the
guy's-
restraints keeping them from falling
crazy.
forward.
I think he
Just
needs, like,
outside
backup
of the
or something.
viewing port,
I would
Dr. Hart could
sacrifice him
see
to
an
Leviathan.
enormous scaled appendage moving fast in their location.
my
We
God.
need to steer the ship clear of the Talons. Revert all power to the thrusters. Get us out of the way, the doctor yelled. Don't you think I'm doing that? The captain shouted.
For real.
The ship
Give him
jolted
some slack.
sideways and downwards as an
guy's not trying
immense
to die.
wave of pressure came
what's
over
that?
the submersible, putting 6
a fresh
Gs
wound.
of force on its
Is it?
That's
occupants.
where they
Or
get in.
seals?
Just 6-1 yelped out of fear as the ship came
Oh,
close to
look at
crashing
that,
into
look
what
at that.
appeared to be
Wait,
the edge
those
of a
are gills.
titanic talon,
Oh, no.
the size of the Empire State Building. Following the encounter, the part of the ship bordering the reinforced glass of the viewing port began to glow
I would
bright
pee myself
red.
so much.
It's boiling the water around us! One of the crew members cried out.
Ow.
It's not boiling anything. It's just cavitation due to the pressure reduction in the water. The updated runes on the ship's hull should keep us safe. We just need to cool our heads. Stay focused on the mission, bottom feeders. After several moments of holding their breaths, the crew of Nemo 1 began to relax as their pace returned to a slow descent along the side of the underwater
How are they not
behemoth.
freaking out?
Before long, the vessel
What
was
is their
no longer
mission?
traveling straight down, but
I think
starting
just
to
to learn
curve
about it.
under the creature,
Yeah, they're doing
traveling
experiments on it,
north
Jack.
towards the theoretical head of SCP-169.
They have to go inside of it to learn more
After
about
several
it.
think they're
hours,
about to.
the ship came upon giant fissures in the rocky exterior of the creature. These massive vent-like structures appeared stiff, but slowly
They're
they
gills.
opened and closed over the span
Yeah,
of
yeah.
weeks.
What does this thing even
These
eat?
were
I
the
said
respiratory
that.
organs of the organism.
There's little bubbles
2
coming out.
miles underneath the surface of the ocean.
Or it's heating the
crew
ocean.
carefully began entering the smaller pod-like submersibles that detach from
Oh,
the
they're
main
gonna
ship.
go inside.
Just 6-1 entered his pod and strapped
Let's
on
go,
the
I'm
haptic
actually hyped.
gloves that would give him control of the pod's robotic arms. He and a team of 3
Get in
other
there.
volunteers had agreed to undergo the dangerous mission of attaching artificial chemical emission
What?
machines that could be programmed to release anesthetic gas into SCP-169's
Oh.
respiratory system on
So
command
if this
remotely.
thing goes
The emission
berserk
machines could
and
be
starts to
refueled
kill everybody, they
manually
can shut it
whenever
down.
the contents ran out. It was
Genius.
an ingenious
Genius.
solution Dr. Hart came up with when thinking
You would
of
think
his
the
time
Leviathan would be
studying
way
sharks
smarter than
as
us
a
now, 'cause
marine
it's been around for
biologist.
millions and millions
It
and
would
millions
tag
of
the
years.
fins of sharks
It's had
by
all that time
capturing
to
them
learn.
and bringing the
too busy
specimens on the
sleeping.
deck of their boat.
But so did that
From
clam,
there, the
Adam, and
scientists
that
would
clam
drill a
died.
radio frequency emitter onto the fin of the shark. When he had first seen this practice as a young college student, Dr. Hart was afraid the process was harming the shark, but later he learned it was designed in a way to not be harmful to the specimen, and eventually the tag would fall off after enough data on the shark's movement was collected. Except these
We gotta
tags
do that with
would
Alec.
not be falling off, he thought.
That'd
There's
be a
not much
dan-
movement.
That'd be a
For the
dangerous
sake
game.
of all mankind, this had to work. The doctor pressed a button on the receiver of the radio.
Is it just
and
me or
spoke.
is he getting bigger?
Just 6-1, what's your status? Pressure's
stress
holding, all
makes you
signs
gain
look
weight.
good. Just 6-2, pressure's holding, all good. Just 6-3, all clear, Captain. Just 6-4.
Good luck,
There was
soldiers.
silence. Just 6-4, do you copy?
I'm getting worried
All clear,
about
Doc.
this.
Sorry,
Yeah, I have a
my mic was
feeling this is
muted.
gonna go
On
really
route
bad.
and ready to
I'm
do
kinda
this
scared.
thing. Dr. Hart sighed in relief and slowly reclined in his chair, watching
think-
the pods move closer.
I think that those gills, whatever they're gonna suck these people into the Leviathan. He's gonna eat them.
Like they're not ready for the suck
Yeah,
power.
they don't actually know what that thing is.
That's a good point. I like that.
Alec, can you give us a demonstration of what might happen?
Let's see. This little thingy is the ship. These are the gills. It's sneaking in, sneaking in.
Ooh, oh.
Wait. What is
Oh,
that?
what, does it eat it? It eats it after?
You did not say what your mouth was. What's your mouth?
No, It's.
Are you hungry?
I just got hungry, guys. I'm really
can eat.
hungry. I
I
can't
can
stop
eat.
thinking
To the
about
large
food.
openings on SCP-169's side. One by one, the robotic arms used underwater torches to drill into the thick, rock-like
How does that not hurt?
exoskeleton
It's
of
gonna
the
wake
It's
it
system,
gonna
up.
be genius if
screwing
it
in
actually works
complex
out.
$1 million equipment that was both waterproof and could withstand the immense pressure.
I guess technically, Alec, these ships, even though they look big to us, they're so tiny compared to the size of this creature that it's basically like a little like mosquito on you. Like, yeah, you wouldn't even really feel it until it's already too late and it stung you.
to depth under
I'm
the
terrified
ocean.
of bees.
As the minutes turned to hours, Dr.
said
Hart
bees?
couldn't help but feel anxiety for the safety of his crew and the success of the mission. But before long, the
kinda
pods
working.
began to return
Yeah,
one
it's
by one
working.
to the mother.
There we go.
That
Look
was
at that.
easy.
Good job,
completing
boys.
the segment
What
of
were we so
work
worried of?
with which they were tasked. The last pod still
Dying.
working was just 6-1,
Oh, no,
whose
there's one
robotic arm was in the process of rotating a large
go.
industrial-sized screw.
There we go.
Just 6-1 had all but finished.
He did.
When suddenly a low
Ready,
rumble
watch, he's about
could
to
be
get
felt
sucked up.
shaking
He
the larger
did.
submersible. Dr. Hart's voice came crackling over the radio. Get back to the ship now! Just 6-1, wrapped in deep focus on his task, replied, I'm just about finished, just packing up my tool belt. Leave it.
Never be the
Return
last
to the
one.
ship
Never
now.
be the last
That's an
one.
order. Jesus, what's wrong? It's not like this is the end of the world, said the agent, chuckling over his radio. An
Yes, it
ear-piercing
is.
echo
It
sent
literally could be.
shockwaves through the depths
Oh,
of the
here we
ocean
go. They
around
woke
the
him up.
submersible. The waves rumbled with the sound
This
of
literally is the end of the world.
SCP-169's
Did he wake
voice,
up?
similar to the sound of a large
Oh
Okay,
my
put him to sleep.
gosh.
Put him to sleep now.
No.
The sound
They're
sent
so
all the crew
dumb.
members falling to the floor.
These guys literally were supposed to secure, contain, and protect, and they did the opposite of that.
They're worse off now than if they would have done nothing.
They
should've
poked the
just
bear.
done nothing.
They poked the bear. Should never poke the bear.
Gosh,
This is why I never
Falling to
trust
the
big
floor
government.
As the ship experienced severe damage from the burst of pressure, slightly cracking the glass viewport.
Oh, they're all
and
dead.
sending smoke flooding
They
into the
dead.
small bridge of the ship. Gas masks! Shouted Dr. Hart as they all donned breathing apparatus. SCP-169 is
no.
waking up. Begin activation of the chemical emission machines. We
have to
need
use
to
it right
sedate
away.
it now. The Leviathan is waking up. We need to stop it, shouted Dr. Hart. Just then, he looked back and noticed Just 6-1's pod was gone. Just 6-1, what's your position? Just 6-1, where are you? Sir, sonar has him drifting off deeper into the ocean behind us. He must have gotten knocked off SCP-169 by the shockwave.
I want to see those
But
people on the
Dr. Hart
island.
wouldn't
They're
have
probably
it.
freaking
He didn't
out right
want
now.
any more blood on his hands. Reverse thrusters, turn us around and get to him. We're not losing anyone. But the breach in the hull. It'll hold. That's what the runes are for. The outside of the submersible began to glow a slight
Whoa.
blue as the ship's system started to
heck?
come
Why are
back
they glowing?
online to full capacity.
I don't know.
And alarm systems started to turn off and report normal pressure readings. Before long, the Nemo 1 had caught up to Just 6-1's pod and retrieved the agent.
Wait, Jack,
Oh,
what's
wow,
that?
he's dead.
What's that thing in the water that glows up?
Anglerfish.
Bioluminescent.
Bioluminescent. I think this thing is secreting bioluminescent. That's my
It could
theory.
be.
That's my
I
theory.
like your theory, Adam.
I'm just-
It very
you know-
well could be right.
Yeah, Alec lost 20% of his IQ in the last video, so he can't think. This guy's
Knocked
dead.
unconscious by the shockwave.
He's
Once
definitely
the
dead.
agent was back on the main
I
ship,
feel so bad
the
for that
doctor
guy. He
turned
was
his
just trying to do his
attention back
job.
to the monitors,
like,
making
"What's
sure
gonna happen?
the
The world's gonna
installations
end."
they
He
drilled
was
into the
joking
creature
about it.
were functional.
His world ended.
Slowly, the machines came online to
Oh,
full
it
power,
worked.
There we go.
and the speed at which
Wow.
SCP-169 had been moving
Night-night,
began to
big
slow
guy.
ever so slightly.
Wait.
The team all
But hold on, wait, isn't there like, I don't know if this is like something that I missed, but doesn't it only breathe like once every 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'm confused about that as well. I don't know how it has gills. I thought it breathed through like a blowhole, but I guess not.
Or
I
like
don't-
even still, if it's breathing through gills, then it would have to breathe constantly for this thing to actually work.
unless they're just like shoving it in there, you know? They're just like shoving this gas inside it.
Yes, they're just squirting it all inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
the viewport in silence as a steady stream of anesthetic gas was pumped into the respiratory system of the gigantic living myth in front of them. After a few moments of waiting, the doctor spoke. I think it worked, he said with a smile.
I don't think it's
The
gonna
crew
work.
erupted
I
in
don't
cheers
think it's gonna work.
as they radioed control
make 'em
back up
angry.
on land that the mission had been a success.
No.
The message quickly
Okay,
reached
that's
the
good.
O5 Council, where a red alert status was de-escalated, and the O5 members withdrew from their plan of leaving the current Earth for that of an alternate universe.
about to leave
The
the
whole
Earth?
crew
What the
began to
heck?
sing and
Oh my
celebrate
gosh.
the prevention of the
They
end
were
of the
about to
world,
pack up their bags
as
and be
Dr.
like, "All
Hart
right, man,
simply
we
stood in
out."
front
They're
of the
literally about to
massive
leave
viewport,
mankind.
watching the mountainous specimens slowly grow smaller in the distance as the submersible began ascending back to the world.
Aw, he's happy
Just
now.
6-1 came over to
Finally.
congratulate him, patting him on the back. We did it!
He deserves
said.
that.
Loosen up! The doctor managed to laugh along in acknowledgement.
I feel happy
That we
for that
did,
guy.
he said in relief. That we
Oh
did.
gosh.
The two watch the deep blue ocean.
Was that them
in
leaving, or was that the
silence,
Leviathan
taking in the
leaving?
vastness of the sea?
That was them.
Perhaps this
Oh.
would not be the end of
Oh,
it.
that must
But
be-
that
Wow,
day,
this was a
they had
success.
done what the
How about
SCP
that?
The Leviathan looks
Foundation
much
did.
smaller from
believe
that
that.
far away.
Kick that apocalyptic can a few miles down the
2,000
road.
kilometers my booty.
I think that might be the first successful SCP mission I've ever seen. This next one did not go as well. Make sure you guys pray for Adam.
Great white sharks are scary enough, but what if one was an SCP?
No, dude, this can't be happening. I gotta go. I got a dentist appointment.
I'm talking about SCP-054-FR, Blue Fear. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, Jack. It's gonna be okay.
I hate the ocean.
Just never go in the ocean again and you'll be good.
I gotta stand up for this one. I might pee myself.
That's why I only go in the ocean to pee.
Let's check it out.
A teenaged boy and girl gently bobbing up and down in the calm ocean water.
Oh, God.
This surfing trip
Little
didn't turn out
romance.
nearly as exciting as they had hoped it would. So with no waves
Maybe
in
even
sight
better.
and the pair growing bored,
Everything that
they
starts
decide
good
to head
ends
back to
terribly,
shore.
Adam. We all know this.
Just as they're about to start paddling back, though, the girl gives one last look and spots the water swelling in the distance.
Oh,
She
nice.
calls out
It's a
for her
nice
friend to
wave,
stop.
probably.
It's just what they've been waiting for.
They're gonna ride the wave.
Waves are coming in, and big ones
Party!
too. They can see
Party!
that they're going to break
Run!
at the perfect time.
No,
Maybe
Jack.
this trip will turn out to be
Swim!
a big one after all.
Swim!
The boy
Get
tells
out
the
of
girl that
there!
she can have the first one, and she starts paddling to catch it.
Oh, she did.
Hops up
Oh,
on
she
her board
did.
just as the
She
wave
riding
breaks,
that wave.
riding
Come
it
on.
expertly
Come
towards the shore.
on.
Don't
as the
do
boy
it.
does the
Have a
same on his
day.
own behind her.
My God, he's hot.
They have a great time,
What?
riding wave after
Oh, wait,
wave.
they're just having a good
each
time,
one
guys.
coming in
That's
bigger
what I'm
and
saying.
stronger
I
than
said
the
that.
last.
This isn't
The
even
girl
bad.
starts to
What are you
worry,
guys
though, that they
overreacting
might
for?
be
This
getting
looks
too
awesome.
big and fast. As the girl finishes surfing another perfect wave, she looks back at the boy just in
Let's go.
time to see him wipe out on an
Oh,
especially
gosh.
tall one.
Oh,
He
no.
and his board are pulled beneath the water.
She's
and
better
falls
than
to the ground
him.
with the
He's
breaking
trash.
Not gonna be good.
She hops
Oh,
off her own
oh,
board and stands in the
oh.
waist-deep water, watching for her friend to emerge. But he doesn't.
Timmy?
She scans the horizon and calls out
What
for him,
happened?
but there's no sign of her friend.
Wait, guys, this is just like that other SCP that we saw where the guy, he died in the water because he was scared of the water, and then he investigated the SCP, and then he got eaten by the blue. Maybe it's like that.
That's literally nothing like this. What are you talking about? He just fell in the water.
It's the exact same thing.
He's
coming
not
up,
dead.
Adam.
He was underwater for 5 seconds. He's not dead.
Adam, don't make me come over there and tell you the truth. You're not gonna like it.
Please don't come over.
She's getting worried.
He's dead.
He should have surfaced by now. She doesn't see any sign of him
Where's
or
the
his
surfboard?
board.
Oh my gosh, the
What's
board's
going
gone.
on?
Wait, yeah, that is weird.
The girl jumps with fright and turns around.
Oh.
The boy is standing behind her.
Oh, he's okay.
How did he
Oh,
get
look at
there?
that. He's
He tells her
fine.
He's got
that the
blood
last
on him, though.
wave
He's got
was
blood on
crazy.
Yeah, what's on his
Must
arm?
have
A little
pulled him
scratch.
and his board under the water towards her.
A little scratch.
He's never
Calm down.
experienced anything quite like it.
Maybe it's a
But
pimple.
he's fine now. There's nothing to worry
Yeah,
about.
he's a
Look, he's
teenage
hiding
boy.
it. He
The
knows.
girl's
No,
still
he's
trying to
possessed,
catch
guys.
her
He's
breath from the
possessed.
fright, gives him a playful punch on the arm, and recommends that they call it a day.
I would knock her out right there, by the way. Don't ever touch me. Don't ever touch me.
No, guys, he's possessed. The SCP touched him and turned him into an SCP-2. Now he's an SCP, and he's gonna get her.
The SCP didn't even get introduced yet. It's probably gonna be like the next day.
Adam, in all of these SCP videos, the SCP gets introduced, but we have no idea that it did. We've probably seen it 5 times today, but we just don't know.
The SCP is this girl, and she just gave him cooties.
Oh, you're not getting what I'm saying at all.
That's been
Waves are
building
getting
up.
stronger, and if he was pulled under once, then who knows what would happen if one of them wiped out on an even
One
bigger
time I rode a wave that was
Besides,
15
the
feet
boy
tall.
looks like he might have hurt himself.
That's
and
just
the girl
cat.
points at a
Yeah,
small
I
cut
lied.
on his arm that's starting to bleed. The boy tells her that it's only a scratch and insists on catching one more wave
getting
before
worse.
they head home.
What do you think would have happened if the girl got scratched like that?
I think she would have went home.
Nah, I'm just kidding. She's probably really strong.
But okay, so this guy, he's about to go into the ocean, but now he has blood on him, right? He has blood on his arm.
Oh!
Sharks! Everybody knows that sharks can smell blood, even a little drop of blood, from 50 miles away.
You are so right.
50
Oh
miles
my
away.
gosh, he's cooked.
So what's gonna happen, Adam? What's gonna happen?
What are you guys talking about?
He's gonna get eaten by SCP-054 because he's bleeding.
He's about to get cooked medium rare and served up on a shark platter.
Guys, this SCP is a great white shark.
Exactly, Adam, exactly. But Adam, they can sniff blood from miles and miles away.
They can.
He's gonna come over.
My point.
Doo-doom, doo-doom, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Ah!
You guys are both dumb. Guys, comment down below. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
He doesn't want to miss this opportunity to ride these great waves when they have the whole ocean to themselves. He
go
tells
back
her that she
tomorrow.
can head back if she wants, but he's going out
Yes,
one more time.
leave.
Okay.
The boy starts to paddle
leave.
back out, and the girl reluctantly follows
Oh,
him.
why do their arms look
As
like
they wait
that?
to catch a wave, she tells him that this time he can go first. She's not going to let him scare her again. The
The boy promises no more surprises and goes to catch another wave.
Something bad's about to happen.
The waves are coming faster now, and she's able to get on one right behind him. As she surfs towards the shore, she keeps one eye on the boy. These waves are tough, and she needs to focus. But her attention is drawn towards
Go
her
ahead,
friend.
surfer boy.
She sees something forming on his wave.
Yo, you can hear the
It's Jaws
music.
music. It's
You
Jaws
can hear
music.
it.
Going out of the crest of the wave and
What's behind him?
reaching
Oh my
towards
god.
the boy.
Oh my
Something's
god, I
behind
see
him.
it. Those were teeth.
The jaws
what?
The girl screams, and the boy looks back,
No!
straight into the gnashing teeth of the shark reaching out of the waves.
No!
The
He's
boy
gonna get
yells
in!
fear and falls,
what is he even getting
tumbling
eaten
into
by?
the water just
What is the
underneath
wave?
mouth, as its jaws snap shut on his board right
The
where he
wave
was
is a
standing,
shark!
splintering it into pieces.
How is that
The girl can't believe what she's seeing and stumbles on her board. She catches
out of
herself,
there. Get
out of
looks
there.
behind her
Get
just
out of
in
there
time
now.
to see the same
Swim.
jaws coming out of the wave
Swim,
towards
woman!
her.
Whoa!
The boy emerges out of the water carrying his friend
what?
to the nearly empty beach.
They're both fine.
Maybe they're like missing legs or something. Wait, but how?
Because it's water. It's literally just water.
That's a good point. It is just
yeah, even
water.
if it ate them, it's just water.
Water kills people all of the time.
Well, this guy's strong, clearly. Look at his shark tooth. He probably killed a shark for that.
Probably, actually.
He lays her down in the sand, screaming for help as a few beachgoers start running towards them. No one has any idea what they could possibly do to assist, though. Both of the girl's legs have been bitten off at the thigh, and it's clear she was dead.
I said that! I said maybe they're missing legs, dude!
Bonjour.
I don't know why I'm so
Today's
like
file
happy about
comes
that.
from our friends at the French branch of the
Who's this guy?
SCP Foundation.
Bonjour.
A frightening and
is
dangerous
like the,
aquatic
the
anomaly
dream
that
face
has been
reveal.
designated SCP-054-FR. But as
Oh, FR. Alec, what does that stand for?
France.
Ah.
This SCP probably only exists in France.
Ah.
If I had to guess. If I was a guesser, that's what I would guess.
Ah.
but is appropriately also known as Blue Fear.
Yep, blue fear.
SCP-054-FR is an oceanic phenomenon that has been observed occurring in several different regions spread across
Okay,
the
we're
world.
safe, guys.
That's everywhere.
In
What
these
do you mean?
areas,
That's
of
every
which
region.
at least 5 have been identified. Certain waves will display extremely dangerous anomalous activity. The waves themselves will seem to physically
Oh my gosh.
transform, taking on a shape
my
that resembles
gosh.
the mouth and jaws of a
kinda
carcharodon
looks like,
carcharius,
Mount
a species
Everest.
of shark better known to most as the great white.
Wow.
The giant
I
shark
wonder if the wave like eats other sharks.
It seems like it eats mainly people so far.
I think it might be the ghost of a shark that was alive at one point and then died. And then
That's
now
way
it's a
too
ghost
simple,
shark.
Adam. That is way too simple. That was the dumbest thing you've ever said.
I'm about to say something that's gonna blow your minds.
Yeah, okay.
This SCP is real.
Yeah, it's called a wave, Alec.
Yeah, a tsunami. Dude, there's actually tsunamis that probably kill way more people than this SCP does. And it destroys buildings.
Well,
it does
this
all that
SCP
stuff.
has killed
This
zero
is
people so
entirely
far.
different. This SCP is a wave that has teeth. That is entirely different than a tsunami. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Alec?
but
This
that's
is the
just a
dumbest thing I've
giant
ever
wave.
heard.
It's the
Wait.
same concept. It's a giant
Jack-
wave
Jack-
that kills people.
Jack makes a great point. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Alec, a tsunami isn't gonna bite off your kneecaps.
It could.
I think a tsunami might have bit off his brain cells because
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the exact same, but I'm saying like it pretty much exists. Like that's what a tsunami is. It's a giant wave that crushes and kills people and buildings.
I mean, you're right. Water is already terrifying enough, but then add on top of that a water wave can be a shark now? What kind of world are we living in?
that's why Jack only drinks high C. He's scared of water.
I will never drink water a day ever in my life again.
shark mouth, which is full of row upon row of razor-sharp teeth, will often go unnoticed until it is too late for the unfortunate
I like
victim,
his hair.
with the roar of the powerful wave itself covering up much of the sound of the gnashing jaws as it
wonder what kind
attempts
of
to
shark
bite
it is.
the targeted individual. The
that mouth do? He's
SCP-054-FR
moving.
phenomenon will only appear on waves in these areas that are at least 4 meters in height, but a maximum
Okay,
height
that's
on
actually
which
really
the jaws
small
will
to know.
manifest has yet to be identified.
Interesting.
Waves carrying the anomalous effect are changed in other ways too. Not only does a terrifying set of carnivorous jaws appear out of the water, but the wave will move faster as well.
I kind of like this.
With
I wish it was real.
SCP-054-FR
It is kind of
waves
cool.
having been measured at rolling 3 times the speed of normal, non-effective
Very
waves.
fast.
The frequency of just how often SCP-054-FR will affect waves is not well understood, but what is known is that waves will speed up when a human or non-aquatic
I feel like Dr. Bob is an SCP.
Have you ever seen anyone just chilling on the beach like that?
Like he's doing right now in the
Yeah.
water? Not
What is he
really, no.
doing?
Most of the time I see people doing that like in a pool, but you know, it's probably pretty relaxing.
True.
He deserves to be eaten? Do we all agree on that?
I don't know if he
no.
deserves
Oh,
to be
okay,
eaten,
never mind,
but
never mind.
I don't know. Maybe if he's out there for more than 30 minutes, then yeah, he's kind of asking for it.
animal is in the water between a wave instance and the coast. The frequency of 054 FR waves will increase dramatically as well when individuals in the area are at least 250 meters from the coast.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's 250 meters from the coast in a little floaty tube. What is he doing?
Basically
By
a
himself.
quarter mile?
Yeah, what the heck is he doing?
That's pretty far out, actually. Yeah, the lifeguard should definitely tell him to come back in.
There's no lifeguards. You saw the beach. There's nobody there. I can see Alex here. That was 0 for.
Sir, come back in! There's a wave!
If any Coast Guard's looking to hire, Jack,
I'm a professional. What can I say? I can't swim, but I can blow.
he'll save you from a tidal shark.
SCP-054-FR does not care which aquatic activities you're engaging in when
No
it spots
way.
you that far from shore.
I wonder if it can, like,
There
eat
have
a
been
boat.
documented
It
cases
cannot
involving
catch up to
casual
a jet
swimmers,
ski.
snorkelers, and divers, but surfers are, for some unknown reason, far and away the most likely victims.
Probably because
Observations
they
have
look like
shown that
seals.
non-aquatic animals
That's
are
true.
also at risk of triggering the effect, such as in the case of several seabirds that were seen floating on the water just before an SCP-054-FR wave crashed down on them, and the birds vanished, leaving only blood and
the
feathers
birdies.
floating on the surface where
Hey,
they once
yo.
were. Even some aquatic vehicles like jet
No
skis
way.
and small boats
That's what I'm saying.
have been
For
observed
real?
being attacked
How
by
fast
the
is this
anomalous
thing?
shark jaws.
Okay, that's
So it
way
seems to
scarier than the
avoid
other
going
wave.
after larger vessels.
No.
If more than one person is
Okay, so
present
Alec
in
is
the area
safe.
that SCP-054-FR is manifesting, though, then additional instances of the jaws are able to form. Either in the same way or multiple different locations. The injuries caused by SCP-054-FR are very similar to those of a normal, non-anomalous great white shark.
What's it even do with the
For-
limbs? It can't even eat anything.
I was literally about to say that. Like, do they actually eat it? Do they actually eat the limbs? Do they eat the humans? Or like, do they just do it for fun? I know,
I don't know,
exactly. So
guys.
like, what's
I
the
don't know.
point?
I don't know. But guys, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but do you guys see what it's been eating the entire video? Women?
Humans.
It starts with P and it ends in E.
He.
People! It's been eating people the entire video!
Yeah.
Which are filled with, Alec.
P.
Water.
I beat him.
Oh my gosh, guys. I don't even know. How are they supposed to contain this SCP? That's the goal of the SCP Foundation.
They get a giant bucket and they scoop them up.
We're gonna
that's
need a bigger
no,
bucket.
no.
We're going to need a bigger bucket.
itself, with larger waves being more powerful than smaller ones. Victims of 054-FR
Oh, shoot, I did
Here we
not
go,
need
we're
to see
back.
that
have
again.
had entire
What
limbs
side
ripped
is her
off.
head?
Others were torn completely in half, while some simply disappeared beneath the wave as it crashed down on
That
top
guy was
of them
planking.
and the jaws snapped shut. The only way to avoid being bitten or swallowed whole is to dive down under the
I
wave
was just
before
about to
impact.
say that. That's what I do at
But
the
the
beach.
opportunity to do so is quite rare given the wave's ability to sneak up on its victims, and the injuries that are nearly always sustained from an appearance of SCP-054-FR are fatal in 68% of recorded cases.
So what we're saying is next time we're surfing, you gotta be like this.
Jack, when have you ever surfed in your life?
Literally never surfed water.
Jack.
I'm surfing, this is me.
Guy, it's very obvious he's never surfed ever.
Not getting me. No dang sharks getting me.
The SCP Foundation first became aware of SCP-054-FR following multiple reports of shark attacks caused by great whites emerging out of the waves to attack humans before vanishing back into the water, and the Foundation soon began a series of experiments to try and better understand the anomaly. The first test performed by Foundation researchers was quite straightforward and involved dumping large quantities of animal blood into the water in an area where SCP-054-FR
See, it was the blood,
was
Adam.
reported to
Oh,
have
it was
been
the
attacking
blood.
people.
That's what I said
Just
from the
like with a
beginning.
normal shark, the blood seemed to act as a trigger
it's
for the
working.
anomaly,
How does it even like
causing
blood? I
it
don't
to
understand.
manifest in less than 2 minutes.
All sharks do.
And the researchers watched as the shark jaws tried to bite at the
Wow.
blood as the wave rolled
This would make
over
for
it.
a pretty cool movie.
The test was repeated, but this
Hey,
time
but why did the girl die then and not the guy? Because the guy was the one bleeding. That's not cool. That's not cool.
I don't know. Maybe the shark's into girls, not guys.
Justice was not served. That guy should die, not the girl.
Why should the guy die? Because he got a little cut? What are you even talking about?
It's his fault. It's his fault.
That is true. He was bleeding.
It's his fault she died.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
would have
okay, good
came
point,
if he
good
wasn't
point.
bleeding.
Exactly.
But this time, human blood was used instead. This also caused instances of SCP-054-FR to appear on the waves, though
Oh,
now
plural?
they
Like
manifested
multiple?
much faster, often
Oh.
showing up less than 1 minute after the blood was dumped
So,
into the water.
He likes humans
It
more than
seems
any
that
other animal.
SCP-054-FR has a
That's not
strong
good for us.
preference for humans, or at least their blood.
What if
and
this was
only a small
man-made?
amount is all that is needed to cause the shark jaws to quickly appear. Tests involving D-Class
No.
personnel have shown that wounded individuals
No.
are 4 times as likely
No.
to trigger a manifestation as
Dude,
an uninjured individual.
The SCP
But that
people
there
are
are
actually
also
very
ways to
cruel.
limit how
That's
often the
messed up.
carnivorous waves will appear.
I would throw you
How?
in
It
there.
seems that lying motionless on the water will
Them dogs are
significantly
out.
reduce how often SCP-054-FR will spawn.
Imagine it's floating in
and
there
slow
knowing
body
that
movements will
some
decrease
big
the
shark's
likelihood
coming
of an
after you.
appearance as well. Strangely, while blood will make the jaws manifest quickly, it is unlikely that it is because SCP-054-FR can smell it, since tests that have tried to disguise the smell of both the blood and the human test subjects have all met with failure.
Then how does it know?
So
They can
far,
feel
all
it.
attempts at damaging the
Oh,
anomaly
it's the
have
water.
also been
The whole ocean.
unsuccessful. Bullets fired at the shark jaws pass harmlessly
Well,
through
yeah,
it, disappearing
Obviously, it's not gonna do
slowly,
anything.
as if they were shooting at perfectly
This could
normal
be like
water.
the entire ocean is
Given
an
its
SCP.
nature, it seems unlikely
need to
that
know
the
the
Foundation
source.
will find a way to capture and contain SCP-054-FR. So
This
for
is
the
such a
time
weird
being,
one.
all containment efforts have been directed towards keeping humans away from it. A 1
That's a good
kilometer
idea.
exclusion zone has been established around the 5 geographic areas where manifestations have been reported, and civilians are
steer
completely
clear.
forbidden to access the areas under the guise of there being ongoing research into marine mammal life that would be disrupted by the presence of any humans.
They're lying.
Secrecy is of the utmost importance when it comes to SCP-054-FR in order to keep the curious away for their own safety. So any photographic evidence of the anomaly is confiscated and destroyed, and witnesses of an SCP-054-FR attack are given amnestics in order to remove the memory of any anomalous shark attacks from their minds.
Wow.
The Foundation also engages in an extensive misinformation campaign to debunk any evidence of the anomaly, spreading the idea that any reports of a shark mouth forming on waves are simply hoaxes or misunderstanding of wave dynamics, while attacks are blamed on normal, non-anomalous great white sharks.
That's such gaslighting.
Poor shark. Yeah, the sharks, man. They're not even doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
And everyone
They get
hates
the
them
bad
now.
rap.
They get blamed for all the shark attacks. Are they trying to say that no sharks ever killed any people? It's all the waves?
I'm sure that's not true.
Oh.
But still, the great whites are getting blamed.
I feel like I got hit with amnesia.
We may have.
If you guys have seen this shark, comment down below.
It is unknown if the 5 areas the Foundation has contained make up the entirety of the locations where SCP-054-FR
It's
can
the whole
manifest.
ocean. How
But
obvious could it
Foundation
be?
agents continue to monitor reports of shark attacks around the world, and hopefully, they will find that they were the result of the regular oceanic superpredator, and not the kind that can manifest behind you when you least expect it. Now go
That
and
is so
watch another.
creepy. That was so creepy, dude.
Oh my gosh, I'm never going to the ocean again.
Have you guys ever heard of SCP-096? That's probably for the best. He is better known as Shy Guy, one of the strongest, most powerful SCPs. And today, we're going to be learning about his sad origin story.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Bob here. I know you're not used to seeing me here at the start of videos.
Is that him?
But that's because today
No, that's
we have
Dr.
an
Bob.
extremely pressing matter to attend to. One that cuts to the deepest core of one of the SCP Foundation's deadliest contained anomalies. SCP-096, the Shy Guy.
No.
It's a creature that needs no introduction, because it probably haunts all of your nightmares already. Close your eyes and
does.
picture it in your mind's eye.
Okay, guys, tell me what you're picturing. What are you picturing for SCP-096?
I see.
Get away.
I see Adam.
Get away.
Is he clothed or naked?
I see Adam running, and he's running from someone who looks beautiful.
Okay. What is going on?
Is it
And
me?
it's
That is
your
not
mom.
scary.
It's your mom, guys. Shy Guy is your mom. What a plot twist.
Gaunt face with the slack jaw and the lifeless white eyes. The face you hope never to see as long as you live. The pale skin
Ew.
pulled tight against
Oh
bone.
my gosh.
Those impossibly long, gangly limbs. It sits there in its airtight containment cube, covering its face and quietly sobbing. Always sobbing, as though cursing something beyond.
I thought that was Alec making the crying sound. I don't know why.
Why does he choose to be in a corner? Why can't he just cry anywhere else?
Adam,
Were you guys
he's-
ever-
He's shy.
Were you guys ever shy in like elementary school and like didn't talk to anybody? Cause I used to be like that. I was pretty shy growing up, and like so it's relatable. Like I'm kind of relatable to like the Shy Guy.
Doesn't the shy guy murder a lot of people?
Well, only if they look at him.
Okay, so nobody looks at him then. He's camped in a corner.
Technically, you're looking at him right now.
I'm not
So an
looking at his.
understanding. Perhaps
though.
when thinking about SCP-096,
I'm looking
you
at
feel a
symptoms.
pang of sympathy mixed with the terror. After all, this anomaly is no sadist. Why would a sadist cry as it kills, like SCP-096 does? You're not alone in asking
Are you
this
laughing
question.
at him?
I've spent many a night poring over classified files with an ever-freshening pot of coffee, trying to piece together the answers. SCP-096 is considered one of the most dangerous Euclid-class creatures in containment, and yet...
Do you guys know what Euclid?
I was about to say, me no understand big word.
Okay, so there's 3 different classes in SCP. There's Safe, there's Euclid, and then there's Keter class. So Safe is green. Safe means that it's good, it's not gonna hurt you. Euclid is kind of like Minecraft spiders. They're neutral, so as long as you don't touch it, it won't touch you.
Okay.
And then
Shy
Keter
Guy's not
class,
that bad.
you don't even want to know about Keter class.
Okay, so Shy Guy, he's not even evil. He's just like a nice guy that doesn't want to hang out with anybody.
As long as you stay away from him, he's not evil.
So little about it is known, beyond its capability to do great harm whenever someone is unlucky enough to see its face and send it into its rage state. How did this happen? It's a question for the curious, like you or me, and after months of strenuous research, I believe I may have an answer. Whether you choose to believe it is up to you. Just be warned.
believe it? Is this
when you
real?
hear what I believe to be the heart.
Wait, this is like a real thing? This is actually making me
No,
feel like
no,
that SCPs are
Jack,
real. I
it's
always
not
thought
real.
SCPs
Jack,
were
it's not
fake.
real.
Okay, guys, we don't know for sure. Do you remember creepypastas when you were like 13 years old?
Yeah.
Like Slender
Usually
Man,
my mom just gave me spaghetti.
Entity 303.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
back in the day, I wasn't sure if they were real or not. So maybe they are real, maybe they're not.
Well, this guy's really convincing me that it's real.
That's
He
not
could
real.
be,
That is
Alex.
not real. Please, somebody say in the comments it's not real. Please.
We've only explored like 5% of the ocean, so it could be down in the ocean.
Good
You
point.
never know. Or it could be an
Heartbreaking,
alien.
tragic origin of this terrifying and pitiful monster. You may never be able to look at him the same way again. Not that looking at him should ever be high on your list of priorities. It begins in a tavern in a small Nepalese village, a few miles away from the Chinese border, where Mount Everest, the world's tallest mountain above sea level, waits. Its mere existence is like a challenge to the brave and foolhardy. Conquer me, it seems to whisper. Conquer me, and declare yourself above
Mount
Why
Everest
is it
is
whispering
those I
that to
have
people?
conquered. Become a god
Conquer
among
me.
men. It's always whispering like this, but few, in the
Stop,
grand scheme
Mount
of
Everest.
things, can actually hear it. And sadly for him,
No, Mount
the
Everest, no,
explorer
I won't.
is among those
Okay,
few.
I'll do it.
Fine.
He's sitting in one of the tavern's many cozy.
Wait, come on. Alec, can you act like you're eating something?
That looks like me?
If you shaved,
Alec, come on.
For real?
if you shaved and parted your hair,
That guy
I
does
mean,
not look like me.
That looks like you from 2017.
I have red hair. I have red hair.
Are we seeing
Oh
the
my
origin
God.
story of Shy Guy? You always said you were shy as a kid. Oh my
some people
God,
do
dude.
say Alec is a pretty shy guy. Okay, everybody's clicking off this video. Please don't leave the video, guys. Please don't leave the video.
Okay,
he's
no
gonna put
wonder
his
he
hat
didn't
back
have.
on.
All I'm gonna say is no wonder he didn't have any friends in elementary school.
He's gonna put his hat back on in 3,
I am scared.
2, 1. Okay, we're safe. Whew.
May at a plate of mutton
Wow.
curry while sipping from a brass bowl of white chiang, a popular local drink. The explorer, living up to his name, has come a long way to get here. The rest of the village locals in the tavern eye him with a variety of knowing glances. They've seen so many like him before. Smug smiles and
There
puffed
he is.
chests,
There's Alec.
thinking they'll be
Hey,
able to count
the French
themselves
man.
among the exalted few who've conquered the mountain to end all mountains.
I'll climb Mount
The
Everest with you
bodies
guys.
of many men like this
Oh,
are
never
still
mind.
frozen to the mountain's surface.
What the?
One
Of course
brave
my
local,
guy
an
dies.
older man
What?
I said, of course my guy dies.
Well, yeah.
My fellow ginger man.
Yeah, that's why there's not many of them left. They probably all try to climb Mount Everest.
They're trying to conquer Mount Everest
Yeah.
and just die.
Probably.
who can speak English fluently,
Not a bad way to
slides in
go.
across the table from the explorer. The old-timer tells him that whatever he thinks he'll find up on the mountain, honor, glory, recognition, he'd be
Alex,
better
never
off
mind.
searching for it elsewhere. Death awaits on the icy rocks above. The explorer, young, fit, and still feeling mighty smug, replies that death is there for the people who haven't worked hard enough, who haven't prepared. He's scaled other mountains before, all across the globe, from Scotland to Peru. Everest would hold no surprises for him, just a
Okay, I don't understand how this relates to Shy Guy at all, Jack. What is going on?
Adam, you gotta just wait, okay? The story's
Okay,
building.
all right.
And okay, I have a theory. Either A, this guy becomes Shy Guy, or B, Shy Guy is waiting at the top of Mount Everest and he dies to him.
I thought, like, since so many people die at Mount Everest, Shy Guy's just waiting up there.
It very well could be, Adam. Shy Guy can survive pretty much any environment, at least that I know of.
The thing is, it's definitely option A because this is the origin story of Shy Guy. So it's like the beginning of Shy Guy.
Maybe that's Shy Guy and he tries to climb it and then he gets stuck.
Exactly. The problem
Exactly.
is, though, that this guy's not shy at all. Like, he doesn't have any similarities with Shy Guy. So how does he end up turning into Shy Guy?
Maybe he loses all of his clothes and he gets really skinny, and then that's when he becomes shy because he doesn't want people to look at him because he's self-conscious.
And he loses his hair.
new, compelling
I wouldn't
challenge.
want people looking at me if I lost my
The
hair.
old man is,
You kinda
as you
just,
could
like, don't
probably
find my
imagine,
life, bro.
unamused by the explorer's hubris. All confidence and bluster now, he says with his thin, raspy voice. But what will you say when you're face to face with the king? The explorer,
The king?
assuming that this king refers to the mountain itself, smiles and replies,
What?
I'll ask him for his crown.
Shy guy the king?
With that, the old man
Interesting.
leaves, content that he
He's
at least
shy.
tried to dissuade the explorer from going on this doomed journey. If nothing else, his conscience would be clear now. He had done all that he possibly could. The explorer, not bothered by the grim prophecies of superstitious locals, finishes his curry and chung and retires to the room he rented upstairs. He's so excited. Tomorrow,
so
it will
happy?
finally be time. All his months of training will pay off.
'Cause
He
he's
will
the conqueror
climb
of
to
Mount
Mount
Everest.
Everest's peak. It would be an achievement to last a whole lifetime.
I'd be nervous.
One he would never ever forget, no matter how much he wants to. The next day,
Whoa.
the tip of his
Dun,
ice
dun,
axe
dun.
cleaves into the
Here
mountainside.
we
As
go!
he grunts, strains, and
Come
pulls
on!
himself up another few feet. He's about 2,000
Dude, he's doing it
meters
all
up.
by himself.
And every
You got
additional
this!
meter is
2,000
fighting him.
meters, bro? Oh
It's
my
the
god.
bitterest cold he's ever known.
That is
a freeze
crazy.
so deep it makes his incredibly expensive thermal locking clothes feel like he's wearing wet one-ply toilet paper. But the pain
Ugh, I
doesn't
hate
matter.
that.
The cold doesn't matter. He finds it exhilarating.
He's still happy.
Of course,
That's crazy.
just as the old man had warned, death could be waiting for him on this mountain. But the truth is, the explorer has never felt more alive. He winches himself up a few feet more, trying to regulate his breathing as his icy fingers, wrapped in thick
This is
gloves,
definitely not
struggle
Shy
to find
Guy.
purchase on what feels
I don't
like a
think
sheer
so, Adam.
cliff face.
I think it was option
There
B.
are many times when he's supporting his full body weight with only his hands. It often takes the kind of Herculean strength that only a lifetime of training can give you.
I think I could
After
do it.
all, there's no room for error on Mount Everest. One wrong move, and you're either plummeting to your death or becoming a permanent frozen fixture of the mountainside. And because Everest is so dangerous, nobody comes to collect the bodies of dead mountaineering hopefuls. Their corpses,
that is
coated in
true.
often colorful winter jackets, litter the mountain. Some look at them
Yeah,
as a
that's real.
tragic warning. Other, more morbid mountaineers use them as mile markers for their own more successful ascents. Whether the explorer would be lucky or become just another dead, frozen mile marker is still entirely up to chance.
That's really creepy.
Whoever goes up this mountain by themselves, that's probably like not known ever.
Usually you're supposed to go up with like some sort of tour guide that has done it hundreds, if not thousands of times, and you go up with a giant group of people that know what they're doing. But this guy's crazy. He's doing it all by himself.
If this video gets 45,000 likes, I will go up Mount Everest by myself.
And I'll shake your hand and watch you go, Adam.
I think I can do it.
To climb this mountain on your own, you have to be best climber Everest.
Okay, can we
He
just
climbs for a few more
Black
hours,
out,
pushing past his body's
Alex
complaints,
face
his
cam.
physical limitations, until he reaches a well-earned plateau.
Let him cook.
Here, he establishes a small base camp and eats
That's where
some of
Shy
his
Guy is. I'm
rations.
telling you, get out of
The
there.
area is thankfully
He's gonna
guarded
get ya.
enough to keep
He's
out the
gonna
worst
touch
of
ya.
the sub-zero winds, so he can at least get some sleep without
Here we
freezing to
go.
death. Mount Everest cannot be conquered today, and even someone with the
Sleeping
explorer's
on
bravado
or in
wouldn't
Mount
dare
Everest.
to try.
That's cool.
but
That'd
as
be a
he
cool
settles
video.
down to sleep for the night, he can't
you're
help
freezing.
but look up. And
He's
the
in a little
enormity of
cocoon.
what stands before him, he finds utterly terrifying.
Wait, how was he still
The
looking at
mountain
Mount
just
Everest when
keeps
he's in
going
it?
and going
There's, like,
and
different
going,
peaks.
stretching up into the misty heavens, like the tip would only be a short jump from the moon. For the first time, the explorer begins to genuinely wonder, will I scale this mountain, or will I die on it? What he never even considered.
This is the first time he's not smiling. He's getting nervous.
He's freezing. He's in a cave and he hasn't even done it yet. He has to sleep there the entire night. I'd be scared.
I think what they don't think about either is that they have to get all the way back down the mountain too. And that must take almost as long as climbing up it.
You just take like a sled and go.
I don't think it's as easy as that, Adam.
That's an easy way to die.
Is that there may be a third option that's so much worse. Over the next few days, he keeps climbing further
he's
and
still
further.
going.
Hundreds, then thousands of meters pass under him as he breaks past even the boundaries biology seemed to set for him. He's impossible to deter. An engine of pure, burning willpower, going
He's a
because he
beast.
knows he cannot stop.
Beast.
Because he knows that if he throws in the towel now, it will have all been for nothing. He'll be just another failure, one speck among billions. He'll have no meaning, no legacy. He'll just be another average Joe, forgotten. And that honestly scares him even more than the prospect of freezing to death up here. Eventually, even though it costs him almost everything to do it, he reaches 8,000 meters,
What?
an area
The
known
death
as
zone?
the Death Zone, where
Huh?
That can't be real.
So when you reach that, are you guys turning around or what do you guys do?
I
You
mean,
gotta
at
keep
that,
going.
I mean, at that point, you're in too deep. You got to keep going.
Well, the thing is, like, if you do something as serious as try to climb Mount Everest, you have to have the understanding of, like, yeah, I might die on this trip, you know? So, like, when you see that, it's like, yeah, like, you gotta expect that to be a possibility. So, yes, you see that, and you're like, all right, here we go. This is what I signed up for.
I think I'd turn around.
This
Yeah,
isn't
of
even
course
the
you
scary part yet.
It's
Where
not. Wait, how many meters is
impossible
it?
for humans to acclimate. This is the
8,000
thin,
meters
rarefied
high.
air that few have been permitted to breathe.
least.
And he's seen so many brightly colored mile markers on the way to here. The ground is slippery, and the air chews into the explorer's skin, but he knows he's made it this far. Less than 1,000 meters from the peak now, he has
Oh, he's almost there.
conquered the mountain. So you can only imagine how surprised he feels when he sees another
please don't be
mountaineer
shy, guy. Please
walking
don't be
down the
shy,
side
guy.
of the mountain towards him with an eerie kind of casualness. He's wearing standard mountain
No.
climbing gear,
No.
including white thermal
Is that
pants
Michael
and
Jackson?
a hooded coat, zipped up to the chin. The explorer can't make out the stranger's face beyond the pair of thick, black
Take out your
goggles
gun now.
he's wearing over his
Who is
eyes.
this?
What the hell is going on here?
I start tossing snowballs at him, make him take off his face mask.
You think so? Well, it's just probably another person, right?
No. Why do you think there's all these dead bodies? Mount Everest is easy to climb. It's the animals and the people there that make it so hard.
I don't think any animals live there, Adam.
They do, and they don't want you to conquer the mountain because it's like this huge accomplishment. So they'll do whatever they can to not let you succeed.
Interesting.
That's why
I never-
I'll
I
bring
never knew that.
I'll bring an M16 when I
You
go.
bring Alec as bait.
And I'll bring Alec as bait.
smart.
I'm gonna bring one of them slow cookers and have some beef jerky.
Alec, can I bring you when I go and bring you as bait as well?
Whatever you guys need to do, I'm here for you.
Thanks, Al.
That's a big piece of bait.
The second the stranger's eyes fall upon him, he feels a frightening sensation. The bite of the cold
That's gotta be
is
Shy Guy.
gone. The chilling winds can't reach him. Instead, he feels warm, cozy, and
He's smiling
content,
again.
like
Ew.
he's sitting in front of
Adam,
a
what's
warm
that behind
fire
you?
in a well-insulated log cabin.
Okay, stop. Don't.
In any
don't
other
do that.
circumstance,
I
these
swear I saw
sensations
something.
might be welcomed, but a seasoned mountaineer knows that this is actually one of the worst things you can feel.
Really?
It means that death is creeping in,
Oh.
and your body is opening the front door and welcoming it.
That's probably not even real. It
That's
could be
not even a real person?
hallucination. Yeah, a hallucination.
Whoa, what is that?
Hallucination.
Yeah, it is a fascination.
Oh my gosh. Wait, this is what death looks like?
I guess so, yeah. Death is at the front door, and he's about to let it in.
That's not even that bad then. So when you're about to die, you actually smile. You enjoy it.
Yeah, but you don't want to die, Adam, remember? Don't do it, Adam. Don't go in.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
up.
Sorry, I
Wake
forgot.
up, wake up.
And if this stranger is causing that feeling, then one thing is certain: he's bad news. The explorer wants to turn and run, but he finds that he can't. It's almost as though he's frozen in place, entranced by the warm, inviting feeling that the other mountaineer seems to exude as he gets closer and closer. That's when the explorer notices something strange about him. Something is glowing through his
Nah.
goggles, like hot
Run
embers
the other
burning
way!
a bright,
Oh, he's a
luminous
ginger.
orange. Are those eyes? Dear God, are those his eyes?
He's a demon.
Go the
Explorer
other
can
way.
Feel their terrible stare. It's
not worth it.
Feel it. It hurts to be looked at by this monster. Yes, that's what it is. A monster. A monster in the shape of a man. Why are you here, mortal? Comes a booming voice from the inhuman mountaineer. Do you wish to challenge me?
Who is that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
The
whoa,
explorer
whoa.
can't form words. He's quaking, his body acknowledging the cold that his mind can't, as those two glowing eyes bore into him. Speak, the stranger commands.
Okay, Jack, you are the most knowledgeable in SCPs. Could this potentially be a different SCP that maybe transforms others into SCPs and now, like, the original guy becomes Shy Guy?
I'm super proud of you. You're very much on the right track. However, not a chance. This is definitely not an SCP. This is like the spawn of Satan, okay? This is not an SCP.
Is that not what
I've never
SCPs
seen-
are?
Wait, Satan
No.
is an SCP?
No. Trust me. Trust me. Demons and SCPs, completely different, okay? Sometimes SCPs seem like demons, but trust me, this is definitely not an SCP. This is the spawn of the devil, okay? And it also could be a hallucination inside of his brain. We don't even know if this thing is real.
Unless Jack is an SCP and his role is to confuse our brain into thinking that that's not an SCP.
Unless you're an SCP and your role is to convince me that Jack's an SCP and you're actually the SCP and I'm the one that needs to reverse the entire mindset, and really, I was right the whole time.
The only way to get to the bottom of this is to smash like, and if it turns blue, Alec is an SCP.
What are you? The explorer forces out between chattering teeth. The stranger laughs.
Hey,
I am the king of the mountain. Though to the SCP Foundation, he's better known as SCP-1529.
Oh,
and he's the
I
worst
called
possible
it!
thing you can run into while trying to scale Mount
Well,
Everest.
not you. You
The
have
explorer
called it.
remembers
Let's
his
see.
conversation with the old man in the tavern. The question he asked,
The
"What
king.
will you say when you're face to face with the king?" And his own foolish answer, "I'll ask him for his crown." Now, really, truly face to face with the king of the mountain, all the poor terrified explorer can do is whimper and beg for mercy.
Oh, that's not
"Please,"
what you do.
he says, the tears freezing on his cheeks as they fall.
What do you do?
"I just wanted to climb."
Wait, this might be a really dumb question, but if you cry when you're on Mount Everest, wouldn't your eyeballs just freeze?
I think it just said that like the tears freeze as soon as they hit your face. But you wear goggles so that your eyeballs don't freeze.
Oh, okay. All right.
King of the mountain laugh, his eyes burning. "Then you will climb," he says, "and climb and climb and climb."
Isn't that
The
what he's
king of the
doing
mountain
anyways?
must have wielded
Think so.
truly unspeakable power to do what he does next.
Whoa.
With a simple nod, the explorer is
What?
suddenly hanging off the mountainside, his fingers
He's a
digging into the
waterbender.
craggy
Oh, no.
rocks. The only thing supporting his weight. It was like being back at square one all over again, except with added pain, terror, and cold so deep he can feel his
Oh,
bones
no.
rattling. And all the while, he feels those eyes upon him, those burning, fiery eyes, staring with absolute malice.
Okay, the other guy, the guy with the scar, should have gave him a better warning. Like he just like lightly mentioned the king. If he actually knew that this guy was up here, I would be screaming and putting signs up, have ads up on the wall.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, whatever the government that's in place there, they should not let people walk up this mountain if they know this is at the top.
That's like how when. Nah, never mind.
He keeps climbing. Every time he reaches a plateau, a place where he might camp and find even momentary comfort, the king of the mountain is already waiting there, staring that horrible stare.
Ooh.
And just like that, the explorer was climbing again, wind whipping against him like 40 lashes
Not
from a
gonna
cat o'
win.
nine tails. That, coupled with the endless strain of the climb
He's
on his
going
muscles,
down.
is the worst agony he's ever felt.
You gotta
And
just
yet-
let go.
He never dies.
Huh?
Even though he hasn't eaten in days, weeks, months, years, he never, ever
Years?
dies.
Oh, wait.
He just fulfills the same torturous loop over and over again. It's like the king of the mountain is just keeping him alive for his own amusement, a toy that's impossible to break. But while the
Years?
explorer never breaks, as time goes on and the torments never cease,
Oh,
he does
it was
begin to
option A.
change, like rock being molded by the tide. First, from the endless stress,
It's him.
his hair falls out. His skin goes pale from the lack of sun. His body
He's
becomes
gonna be
thin
the
and
SCP.
wiry from starvation and malnourishment. The endless physical strain even
What?
warps his limbs. His arms and
I
legs
called
begin to
it.
stretch.
I
His body
literally
becomes
called it.
elongated
That is
and
exactly what I
grotesque.
said.
All the way through this horrific, dehumanizing ordeal, the king of the mountain stares at him. One day, the explorer, now changed, reaches a plateau, and as can be expected, the king of the mountain stares at him with his burning eyes.
How?
The explorer cowers and covers his face with his hands,
No.
sobbing from exhaustion. He just wants the king of the mountain to look away, to leave him be. He babbles incoherently. He doesn't want to be seen anymore.
Oh my gosh, this is
His
crazy.
pain simply makes the king of the mountain laugh. "I gave you your wish," the mountain king says, his voice oozing with contempt. "You climbed, didn't you? You thought that your climbing would elevate you, make you more than human.
What?
But now, you're so much less.
It's
Our
gross.
business concludes here. I'm tired of playing with you." And with that, the king is gone. The explorer is alone, stranded among the snow and the whipping winds of the death zone, but very much alive. He's finally able to go.
That's literally exactly what I said. I said the king was another SCP turning other people into SCPs, and that was Shy Guy.
But he only turned this one guy into an SCP. Why didn't he do it with other people?
Common Siren W.
Because this guy's the strongest climber out of everybody, so he knew that this was going to be the guy. He probably
Interesting.
tested everybody else, but they all failed.
Exactly.
Those were
They
the dead
died to the
bodies.
tests.
The one thing I am curious about is why does Shy Guy become so violent then when people look at him?
Because Jack, he's been climbing for years.
And all he remembers is the king's stare. And he didn't want the king to look at him anymore, so he doesn't want anyone to look at him.
Dude, but he should be, if anything, like nicer to people because he just got tormented for so many years.
He hasn't
Nah,
had
he's
social
changed.
contact in years, Jack. He doesn't know how to interact with people.
At long last, after what felt like an eternity, he's escaped. When the explorer arrives in the village again, He's not the explorer at all. It's been years since he went missing on the mountain. The old man who had warned him not to go up onto Mount Everest had passed peacefully in the interim. The other members of his small village would not be afforded the same luxury. Instead, the explorer stumbled back through the village limits, still covering his face. The only sounds he can hear are the wailing wind and his own pitiful sobbing. Everything hurts. He's so terribly afraid. He needs somebody to help him. Why will nobody help him? The sun begins to rise, and the village shakes itself awake. People leave their homes to go about their daily tasks. None of them are expecting to see a monster loping through their streets.
Okay, what I think happens is that the Shy guy, he's just looking for help right now, right? He's actually just a normal person. But then everybody calls him a monster and ugly and this and that, and you're stupid, you're bald. You literally have red hair, but it all fell out. So now you're bald. You have nothing. Even your arms are weird. Like you have the whitest of skin.
That makes sense, Adam. Actually, you might be a genius.
So they keep calling him a monster, so he turns
gangling
in.
monstrosity, stretched and hairless. It engenders a mix of fear and curiosity as it stumbles around, audibly sobbing with a loud, warped voice. It's like nothing any of them have ever seen before, like something out of a myth or a folk tale. But for the monster that was once the explorer, it's so much worse. At first, he thinks that the villagers might be there to help him, but then he sees their eyes, that same intense, burning fire pit orange as the king of the mountain. That same horrible gaze that the explorer thought he'd escaped when he left the mountain. The gaze that meant pain, torment, and madness. Even when he tries to cover his face, when he wails at them to go away in words that make sense to no one but him, he can still feel those terrible eyes on him. Is he still on the mountain? Is he still at the mercy of the Mountain King? Are these all just illusions or projections, another awful trick? What did he ever do to deserve this kind of torment? Was the crime of wanting to climb a damn mountain worth this kind of everlasting suffering? Did it earn him the gaze of all these monstrous eyes? The explorer begins to feel his anguish being replaced by another feeling, rapidly rising rage, the kind of pure, blistering hatred that inexorably leads to one result.
Here we go.
Violence. First, he screams.
Oh my God.
Then they scream.
I don't know what to do.
Finally,
I don't know what I would do.
The killing begins.
Was he eat
The
them? What does he
creature that had once
do?
been the explorer leaves no stone unturned. Even when they try to run away, he still feels their eyes on
How is he
him.
so fast?
He needs to kill them all.
This is one of the strongest SCPs. People say this is the
How did he get so
strongest
strong?
SCP,
From, I
actually.
guess, from training over and over and over?
I guess.
He's like One Punch Man.
And the king must have gave him some insane powers, because as soon as you look at Shy Guy, even if you go to outer space, even if you go under the water, you go anywhere, he's gonna find you and he's gonna kill you. There's no escaping.
Wait, what if I hide in like a secret nuclear bunker? There's no way he's getting there.
Doesn't matter, yeah. He's gotten in every single place, everywhere, anytime, you're dead.
Them quickly, leave no trace. It's the only way he can feel anything close to at peace again. It becomes a kind of terrible chain reaction. The sound of the horrors going on in the street only entices more to come outside and see what's going on, to look at the creature causing all this carnage, to see its face. They have no idea that this very action is
What if
dooming
that
them.
was the last thing you've
And
ever
within
seen?
the hour, the village is empty,
Well, it was
save
for those
for
people.
one
That'd be
creature.
terrible.
The creature that had once been the explorer, now just afraid, confused,
Don't.
and alone.
Oh, I mean,
He will always
oh, get
be
him!
alone. The anomaly that will soon be known as SCP-096 simply bows its
I
head
kind of feel bad for him now.
and weeps.
Yeah, me
If you
too.
want to support our important mission,
Wow, that is the story of Shy Guy.
That was so sad.
Jack? Jack! Oh, God, no, no! Today we're watching the origin stories of one of my favorite, but one of the scariest SCP creatures of all time, the Sculpture, also known as SCP-173.
Oh God.
He is known to have 50,000 murders, and you could be next if you don't leave a like on today's video.
We were a team. Despite our differences, in spite of the terrible things they'd done, we were still a team. That's not how the higher-ups saw it, though. No. The guys upstairs with their perfectly pressed shirts, for them we were judged by our level of expendability, and they knew that our next mission was a death sentence. One by one, that thing took out my team.
Oh, it has
Oh
to
my
be it.
gosh.
Friends,
It's the statue.
snapping their necks so quickly and with such ease that no sooner did I hear the scream, they were dead. We had been used. I'd been used.
Yes.
Delivered as prey to the predator.
Yes. What are you saying yes for? Adam, why are you saying yes? Like, are you excited for this?
Do you want the sculpture to kill all of the D-class personnel?
It's like a car crash. You can't look away. Like, it's interesting. I love it. That's why it's one of my favorite SCPs.
It is one of the most scary SCPs because you can never ever take your eyes off of it, and if you do, you're dead.
It was sanctioned by the bosses and approved with a blood red stamp. Why did they do it? I'm still trying to figure that out. Maybe that's something you can tell me after you hear how these so-called scientific men left us in this cell.
They seem evil. Wait, are some scientists on the team of the SCP-173?
I don't think so. I think if I had to guess, SCP-173 was probably just brought into the facility, and they have to do every test possible to figure out what this thing's strengths are and what its weaknesses are.
How would you test something that you can't even see? As soon as you look at it, it kills you.
No, you could look at it, yeah, no, but you can't ever look away from it, Adam. I think you're mixing up Shy Guy and the sculpture.
They're probably looking at it with cameras, Adam. The scientists.
If you ever look away, then it kills you.
In the hands of SCP-173. For me, it had been the best of times before it became the worst of times. The best, because I'd quickly risen through the ranks of the facility. The worst, because, well, I'll get to that. I was never the best student. I finished high school by the skin of my teeth, and my job prospects looked bleak. But I was lucky, I guess. Or at least I thought so at the time. You see, I have an uncle Siegfried who did some work for the government. I never actually knew what he did, just that it was secretive work. I used to imagine he was some sort of super spy, so you can imagine how excited I was when he found out I needed a job and he offered to help me out.
He's
I
handsome.
couldn't believe it. I always thought he hated me. I'd overheard him telling my parents that I was a no-good deadbeat. And now he'd had a change of heart and was willing to take me under his wing. What would I get to do? Undercover intelligence gathering? International assassinations? Just you wait, he said.
I think my prediction is this ginger guy is setting his friend up. He's gonna run an experiment on the guy to test with the SCP-173, and he's gonna get locked in a cage with SCP-173.
I think you're probably right. That's what a lot of people in the SCP Foundation actually do. They trick people into coming into the facility under the facade that like things are gonna be good, and then they put them in the cells with these SCPs just to see what happens.
And I'm pretty sure some of these SCPs are actually based off of true stories. So we're gonna find out if this is actually real.
In the true story,
That's
he
how I
doesn't have
found
red hair, though.
myself walking into a sprawling, futuristic-looking facility where they handed me a level 1 security clearance card with big, bold letters that read, janitor. But I was happy.
Okay.
Just the word security clearance made me feel important, and it beat flipping burgers. I pushed mops, turned off lights, fired up generators, clocked in, and clocked out.
This guy has no idea where he's
All
working.
that time,
Zero.
they must have been watching me, grooming me, waiting for the day they could throw me to the wolves. I should have known. I've always been an expendable kind of guy.
Wait, is he gonna have to clean the room with the
That's what I
SCP-173?
think is probably going to happen. Yeah, they're going to send him into the room, and he doesn't know what the SCP is. So he's going to have to figure out very quickly to never look away from this SCP until he's safe.
It seems like this facility is like locked down because they have like weapons and all this stuff. I wonder if they're trying to use these SCPs as like military weapons, you know? That's why they're trying to figure out exactly how these things work so that they can use them in the military.
They're not supposed to, but it does happen.
Shout out Area 51.
After a few years, I was
out,
called
Alex
to an
Miller.
office, and there was a man in a plaid shirt and kind of a tweed jacket that professors wear. He asked me, "Do you have any idea about what we actually do here?"
Oh no. Just say no and move on.
To be honest,
He doesn't.
I didn't. I knew that there were many parts of the facility
guy's
I couldn't
oblivious.
enter. I
He looks
imagined
good,
that
though.
down a
I like
maze
his
of
beard.
corridors were weapons
Yeah, it's
being
pretty
built,
cool.
or prisoners being interrogated. But I had no idea about the anomalies.
He must know.
How could I? Before I was told anything, I had to sign a bunch of forms. There were so many I thought I'd get to find out who really killed JFK. And while they didn't come out and say it, what I inferred was that if I ever talk about what happens at the facility to someone outside the facility, well, let's just say it's not the kind of thing they'd spell out on a piece of paper,
It's
but
very
it involves
secretive.
padded cells and rusty tools. I wasn't scared though. I was part of something big.
Would you guys sign that?
Yes. Yes, I would.
I would definitely sign it, dude, because then you get to learn about the SCPs, which is like one of the greatest phenomena.
I wouldn't sign
of
it.
the
I would just
world.
leave. As soon as I heard the words SCP, I know. I don't want to hear anything about it because I know it's too dangerous.
They're not saying it's an SCP facility. They never are marked as SCP facilities. Only the people that work there know that it's that. They're always under disguise.
Look at my screen right now, Jack. What does it say? First letter.
I don't know. What?
On the screen right now, what is it?
Secret?
What's the first letter?
S? letters.
What's the third letter?
C.
And what do I have to do right now?
P. Guys, we're gonna take 5.
He should have known.
Something secret. And I loved it. So I signed my life away with no
terrible
hesitation. Soon after, I was introduced to my first anomaly, the safe class, of course. They took me to an observation room, and from that room I could see into another room with a sign on the wall that read SCP-067. I just stood there,
Okay,
waiting
that's
for
not
something
gonna
to
be a
happen.
harmful
When
SCP.
in walked another guy in a white lab coat.
Oh, that might be
Welcome
like
to
the
your
baby
first
of
anomaly, he said.
SCP-167.
Is it okay if I hook you up to this heart monitor? We want to gauge your reaction to what you see. All I can see, I told them, is an empty room with a table and what looks like a pen on top of some papers.
So I'm pretty sure that's like a pen SCP. I've read about this one. Anybody that holds the pen, it like makes them write about their life. Like they write a full biography right then and there as soon as they touch the pen.
Oh.
Wait, so the pen is the SCP?
Yeah, the pen itself is the SCP.
Whoa.
There's a lot of weird SCPs that like aren't monsters, like Shy Guy or like Slender Man. Like a lot of them are like basic objects like that.
Yeah,
like
that's a cool
candy. There's a room that's an SCP. Like there's some weird ones too.
I could get talked into eating candy very easily.
Correct, he said, half smiling, as if I was some kind of idiot. That's SCP-067. I thought about telling him that if I needed years of training before I could see a pen, that I probably should have taken that fast food job.
Right there, here at SCP, you should have ran.
Then they brought a young chimpanzee into the room.
Oh, it's
small
Adam.
enough to be harmless. One of the guys forced a pen into the scared chimp's hand and something strange happened. It started scribbling. Nonsense at first, but suddenly it was sketching and drawing faster and faster. I could
That's
catch
amazing.
glimpses of words and images. By the time they dragged it out, it was flailing around like it
monkey
was
did it?
possessed. That pen has power, said the man in the lab coat. A power whose source or origin we don't fully understand. That's why we're here. That's why you are
so
here.
shocked.
One of the guys in the other room held the chimp's drawing up to the window. It was a perfect sketch of the Tower of London, intricate and brilliant.
Really?
Above the sketch was the title, Tower of London, Tudor period, circa
probably where he was
1541.
born.
The year Margaret Pole,
1500s?
the Countess of
That monkey's
Salisbury,
gotta be 700
lost her
years
head
old.
on the chopping block. Underneath that, the chimp had written, "Pity, she was no traitor. Take it from me. I
Maybe
was
it's the
there."
biography of
They
somebody
didn't
else.
need to look at the
from
heart rate
1500s.
monitor to see that I was shocked.
That heart rate's booming
That
right
was
now.
far from the only anomaly I'd come into contact with, and I must have been doing something right.
That's only
because
the
in
pen.
time, I went from level 1 to 2 to level 3 security
no.
clearance. And that's
I'm
what
pretty sure once you hit level 3 security clearance, you get access to the Keter class SCPs, which are like the deadly SCPs that you don't want to even get close to. So he has no idea what he signed up for.
And that's when they made me a containment specialist. I won't bore you with all the details, but as you can guess, I dealt
That's
with the
not good.
containment of anomalies. A lot of my time was spent looking through small windows and cell doors, making sure that whatever was inside was still inside and still in one piece. Other times I worked with field agents when anomalies were brought in, a transition period that the arrested freaks didn't much like.
Wait, so what's his job now? He started off as a janitor, now he's just like the test dummy? They talked him into that so easily.
Yeah, they literally made it look like he was gonna have some sort of like new job title. He was gonna be like cool, better paid, but literally, yeah, he's just gonna go in with the SCPs.
I think they lured him in with like one of the best ones. The pen one is awesome. It gives him extra smart abilities.
And it's safe, ultimately.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna get hurt by that. So he thought that the SCPs were like good. He thought that I'm not gonna get hurt by these.
Then they're gonna boom sneak attack with the SCP-173.
Sculpture's gonna come up to him and go snap his neck.
Ah!
There was one certain anomaly, though, that I was tasked to oversee on many
This is
occasions.
pretty sad.
I like to think of it as my
What
pet,
do you mean? Look, he's smiling.
but in hindsight,
Oh,
I
wait, yo.
was its pet. This was SCP.
Oh,
Here we go,
already?
boys.
73, something that was in what we call the Euclid class.
This is where his life's gonna change
Classification
forever.
meaning that we don't fully understand it, but know it is very dangerous.
Don't go in.
We know it's intelligent. We know it's unpredictable. And
that
we know
the statue of
it will
Adam?
kill.
Jack.
And for that reason,
Not
there's
me.
people
That
tasked
does
with
look like
containing
Jack,
it and
you're
keeping an
right.
eye on it at all times.
Adam, you have the most biggest head I've ever seen.
At first
No.
glance, you wouldn't guess
Oh my-
just how dangerous
Everyone close your eyes.
173 is. You wouldn't think it's incredibly intelligent. In fact, you'd think the opposite. That's because it's more or less a walking slab of concrete and rebar with stunted limbs and traces of spray paint that give the impression of a dopey face. We have to enter its cell twice a week for cleaning duties. It leaves a disgusting, foul-smelling liquid on the floor.
Ew, it's
A reddish-brown
constantly
substance
peeing.
that I can only describe as a mix of blood
Wow,
and
this
waste
is a mix of
products.
you two.
Where that stuff comes from has remained a mystery since we first contained it in 1993.
How'd they capture
when Alex
this
was
thing?
born.
Going into the cell was always a three-man job because, and this is maybe the weirdest part about 173, it can't move if human eyes are watching it. That's why you need at least 2 people watching it at all times. If you were in the room watching 173 by yourself and blinked, you'd be dead before your eyes
Even if you just blink?
Yeah, dude, you can't be by yourself. And if even like, let's say 10 people are in there at the same time, if they all blink at the same time, 3 of them are gonna die.
How do they plan that? Did they just not blink?
They probably, yeah, don't blink, or they time their blink. So they're like, all right, you blink, all right, I'll blink. You blink, I'll blink. You wanna try?
Sure.
All right, ready? All right, I'm gonna close my eyes. You tell me when to open them.
I'm about to blink already.
Tell me when.
Close.
Wait,
Wait, who closed?
Did we? Oh my gosh! I think you already killed us.
I think we
I
would
was
have
saying
died.
I'm closing.
Wait, but you,
just
I
said
said when
close.
I
Everyone
told you
close
to
their
tell me
eyes.
what to do.
Why would I tell you what to do? You're in person.
This
Okay,
is
now
why
actually-
you're not gonna ever get hired.
This is the real strategy. You just take your eyelids open so you can't blink.
All right, I'll try. Let's see.
All right, Jack will hold that for the rest of the video.
Perfect.
We don't know how it moves that fast, but in that fraction
Comment
of a
down below if I
second,
blink. I
your
really
neck
can't
is
tell.
snapped
I
so
wanna
hard
blink.
it's almost like being decapitated.
Jack, if you blink, we're all dead.
I've seen the videos to prove it. All it took was a sneeze. He wasn't even finished getting the
just
rest of
sneezed
the
and then
chew out
died.
when there was a flash, and his partner was left lying. His head
I
twisted
gotta
around in that
blink!
direction. So, you can understand why we now require 3 men for any time we must enter 173's cell. Then,
I would have
a
20
few
people
months
watching
ago,
that.
I was told that a long process would begin to train and re-educate
I think Jack's
some
going
future
down.
class
No, he
teams.
blinked. We're dead.
He's
Class
like,
teams are mostly
Ah,
prisoners
shoot.
with lifelong
Sorry, guys, I
sentences,
tried.
or those we've taken from death row and given a new lease on life. We were apparently understaffed, so why not employ these men whose lives had pretty much ended anyway? That was the rationale, or at least that's what they told me. I was told to train them on their new job, mopping up 173's mess, so that
Would you guys do that? Like, let's say you committed a crime or something and like you stole bread and then you were given the death penalty. Would you guys instead go to the SCP facility?
Then I would
if they
try.
give you the option.
I would try and talk to the SCPs into teaming up with me. Then I would take the concrete dude. Then I'd run out of the cell with him and throw him at everybody, and then he'd kill everybody. I'd look away for a second. He'd kill everybody, and then I'd look back.
But you would die if you look away.
No, we made a truce. Remember, I whispered in his ear and I talked to him nice.
the
I'd be fine
containment
if he killed me.
specialists could focus on more important tasks. They hadn't been through the
It's a good way to
training I
go.
had,
Quick.
seen what I had seen. But after showing them the video of 173 nearly taking off a man's head, they were more than willing to
Oh, they have
follow
video
the
of it.
rules. They understood not to blink or turn away or sneeze, and that any lapse in focus could lead
Hey,
to a
they
fight.
did
That
your
guy-
thing.
Let's
So I
go
started
with
to
the
show
thing.
them the
It
ropes.
doesn't work.
So we moved
Hey!
It doesn't
Yeah, that's the
work.
guy that
Oh,
died.
that
Jack.
guy
It's not working.
is
on what
deader
we're
than a
doing.
brick.
173 was always sitting in the corner of a cell.
He looks
no
so happy.
expression on that crude face. But when we walked
Look
in its
at me,
cell, I
guys.
got the feeling it knew something had changed. I felt almost as if it was communicating with me,
Oh,
but I
told you.
couldn't
Here we
tell
go.
what it was trying to say.
Here we go.
Blink.
And
I want cookie.
it happened.
Here we go. Here we go.
It was a Tuesday afternoon, 3 days from the last time we cleaned. As usual,
It's
173
poopy.
covered
Adam's
the
baby
floor with
pooped
that
himself.
Horrible liquid. We headed in to clean. My new team alert as always, and some of them cleaned while others kept their eyes focused on the thing in the corner. Things were going smoothly when
did
we
it
heard
say?
a noise I knew very well. It was the sound of the cell door locking. Someone must have screwed up. Hey guys, we're locked in here.
Nah.
I shouted through the intercom. Nothing.
They did it on purpose.
Guys, the
definitely
damn
did it on
door is
purpose.
locked.
The SCP was trying to warn them.
Nothing. I lost it a bit. Open the door, will you?
If the lights go out, they're dead.
My team looked at
Oh,
me.
you're right.
The ones not on eye contact duty, that is. As if I should know what to do. Hoping that this had happened before and that there was some kind of standard plan to deal with it. There wasn't.
It looks like
We
they're
were
all
always
about to be.
observed when in the room, and I knew that a technician couldn't accidentally lock the door. It was impossible. There were protocols. Someone had done this on purpose.
I know it. I
The
know
four
it.
of us sat in the corner of the room as far from 173
That's
as possible.
so messed up.
It's definitely the guy with the red hair. I called it from the beginning. I called it.
You can never trust those type of guys. Never.
Trust that type of guy.
They are
he looked
handsome,
too
though.
clean. He was too
They
clean.
do look good.
There's something shady about him. You need a little.
He's probably
dirt on you
really
to make
tall
you
and strong.
trustworthy.
Our eyes locked on it. It didn't move an inch as usual.
What happens when I have to
Just
go to
stood,
sleep?
staring at the wall as
They
it
gotta take
always
shifts.
They
did.
can, Adam. They can't.
We stayed awake through the night, talking a little, holding on to the slim hope that something had gone wrong. But as night turned to day again, we all began to lose hope. We weren't sent here to clean. We
That's
were
crazy.
a test.
Maybe this is not a test for the SCP, but it's a test of humans to see like what they will go through in order to survive, you know?
That is the craziest thing ever. Why would they do that?
That's what I'm saying.
They're
They're like,
people.
how far will humans go to survive? Will they stay up weeks, months, you know?
I would
Put them on
try
an
to survive
island
in
and give
the
them
face.
nothing. That's all you gotta do. Why you gotta put them in with some crazy, mystical, whimsical creature?
Why haven't they tried to like smack it with a chair or something? They haven't even tried to take it out.
Right, and they haven't even
point.
tried your strategy of befriending it. They,
Yes,
they need
exactly.
to, I don't know, go like give it a hug or something.
I would have every single person circle it and start peeing to show that we're allies.
Yeah, and did they taste the pee? Not even a single time. What if it powers them up, you know?
True, maybe it's actually chocolate that is pooping out for everyone.
There's no way to find out unless you taste it.
Test. Totally expendable.
Says the guy who eats
Lab
dirt.
rats. But I wouldn't go down without a fight. We couldn't just stay up forever. That was a death sentence. I suggested that 2 of us stand, 1 sit and rest, and 1 get some sleep. We'd take shifts. A couple hours on, a couple hours off. Maybe
can't
we
they
could
all
show
sit?
that we wouldn't give up.
See, look,
They'd have
they're
time to
watching.
realize what they were doing was
People are
insane.
watching the
Call
other
off the
people.
test and come free us. We made it through a couple of shifts like this, and it seemed like we'd actually be able to make it another day or two when everything went wrong.
Oh no.
It was my turn to sit and rest when I heard the worst possible noise. Snoring. The con next to me was sleeping quietly, so it must be one of the standers. I glanced over for just a split second and saw both of them.
Why would he
leaning
glance
against
over?
the cell wall, dozing. At the same time, I saw the flash. Crack, snap, pop.
Oh, GG's.
One after another.
Wow.
Their necks were snapped.
Oh my
I'm not sure
God.
how it
You
happened,
saw it?
but I was standing again, staring at 173, who was now in the corner. Dead bodies with their heads twisted around
he's by
piled
himself.
up in front of it.
That's all
I
it's
couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't stare at this thing forever. I felt myself giving up. I lowered my head to the ground and then finally broke my gaze, ready to die. And then
What?
It turns out to be his father.
nothing happened. I slowly raised my head back
my gosh.
up, and there it was.
He likes
Its
him.
hideous face inches away from mine. It was then that I understood what we'd been containing, what we'd underestimated. I felt it again, like it was telling me something.
It's an alien.
It was telling me to close my eyes,
What?
to sleep. So I did.
He's eating
But
their
as
bodies.
my eyes closed, I didn't see darkness.
Huh?
I saw 173, or something like it. But not
What the
in
heck?
the cell. I saw it outside, in the world,
Why?
standing over children sleeping in their beds,
But why?
watching.
What the?
I saw them hiding in the shadows, staring out at passersby.
There's more than
I
one?
realized they weren't watching, waiting to pounce.
They were protecting the kids.
What-
Ready?
what-
Watch.
How many are there?
No, they were hiding. My eyes popped open as the door opened and in rushed 6 security personnel. They took me outside, jabbed my leg with a syringe, injecting me with
Oh.
something as the world faded.
He's about to turn to an
Away.
SCP.
Incident report.
think so?
Yeah.
Time and date redacted. Following the experimental forced interaction with Euclid-class anomaly SCP-173, subject has ceased responding to external stimuli and appears to have taken on the traits and behaviors of the anomaly. Subject now spends entire day sitting in
What?
corner of cell staring at the wall.
He became one of
Staff are
them.
advised to proceed with caution
told
when dealing
you!
with subject, as the only behavior they engage in is an attempt to strangle anyone who enters the cell. No treatments have shown any effectiveness, and subject will unfortunately require incarceration.
So he got
likely
infected
forever.
with this
report has been read and
sculpture
approved
virus.
by
So they're doing that on purpose. The lab people are trying to turn more people into that SCP.
Maybe it was the military thing you were saying, Alec.
Oh
Maybe
my
you were
God.
They're
right.
trying to get an army of those SCPs.
Wow.
SCPs are just people.
Oh my god.
And they have like a certain gene or something that they all connect, but there's only, it's like 1 out of every 5 probably.
Oh.
That was insane. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys smash the like, comment down below other SCPs that we should look into. And while you're at it, click this one to listen to more SCP.